The opposition has stepped up its criticism of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission and is now calling for the overhaul of election technology before the 2027 general elections. The opposition principals insist that while they will allow IEBC time to address pertinent issues they feel that are wrong with the preparedness for the election, the overhaul of the Smartmatic voter identifier technology will be an irreducible minimum. Speaking at a church service in Madioya, Murang'a County, the opposition chiefs expressed confidence that they would marshal enough votes to beat President William Ruto, who will be seeking re-election.
Smarting from a church attack in the neighbouring Othaya constituency that they insist was state-instigated, the united opposition were in Gitugi of Mathioya constituency, Murang'a County, for yet another Sunday service. The leaders alleging that the Sunday attack was an intimidation plot.
Unajua hii mashambulizi ilifanywa ilikuwa na nia kadhaa, but one of the plan ilikuwa kushtua makanisa.
It beats logic that actually you can send people to go and fire tear gas canisters, live bullets in a church.
Having met the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission on Wednesday to express concern over the Commission's preparedness for the polls, the opposition luminaries now say that the Commission must overhaul the Venezuelan technology known as Smartmatic in voter identification in next year's polls.
We've given them time. Tukakubaliana, we even setting up our own, tutawapatia watu ambao watafanya kazi na wao to make sure those changes. Brother Eugene, those guys are clear. They're Kenyans. Nobody wants to have, at the end of the day, mud on their face.
Kutoka na wale walifanya printing ya ballot papers, kutoka Ugiriki, we know who facilitated. Wakitumia Bwana Chebukati. Na ile teknolojia ililetwa hapa, tunajua wale waliohusika kuleta Smartmatics.
Once more, the opposition insisted on the urgency for unity, pledging to make sacrifices so that they confront one candidate to face President William Ruto.
It is not a matter of kutapatapa, kulizana nini. We are very focused.
Tuamini, tunaongea sisi pole, tutafika mahali. Wacha wetu atatuzungumzia. Nilisema the other day kwamba unajua hii united opposition ni kama boma. Iko nyumba hapa, iko nyumba hapa, iko nyumba hapa. Iko siku tutapanga vile tutaenda Ngurario. Na yule mzee ambaye haya mama ambaye atatuzungumzia tukifika hapo. Na tutamtaja wakati huo.
They called on the government to urgently address what they allege as confusion in the education sector as well as in the universal health care. The opposition also staged rallies in Gitugi as the convoy snaked its way through Othaya to Nyeri.
Now, 2 teachers and 2 learners have been confirmed dead in separate accidents which occurred in Nairobi and Nyeri in the last 24 hours. Speaking in Nairobi, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has revealed that 2 teachers died after being hit by a public service vehicle in Ngara, Nairobi during the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET elections. In a separate incident, 2 learners lost their lives in Nyeri County after a van carrying 26 children was involved in an accident. CS Ogamba has now expressed sorrow over the incidents, even as he assured teachers and learners of their safety and security across the country.
2 families tonight are mourning following a tragic road accident that claimed the lives of 2 teachers in Nairobi. The 2 who were among participants in the KUPPET elections died following an accident in Nairobi's Ngara area when a public service vehicle veered off the road and hit teachers who were standing by the roadside near City Primary School. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba confirmed the 2 deceased teachers were from Limani Junior School.
Unfortunately, we lost 2 of them, one instantly and one at the hospital here.
That means that the school will not have 2 teachers, and the trauma which has accompanied the whole experience of that school is that even the learners are very anxious.
On Sunday, CS Ogamba, who was flanked by Teacher Service Commission Chairman Dr. Jamlek Muturi and Kupit Secretary General Aquilo Misori, visited 3 of the 26 injured teachers currently admitted at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi and assured them of full government support.
26 of them were injured, 13 were treated and discharged, and we have 13 in various hospitals in Nairobi.
All of them are covered under SHA, and SHA is completely covering all the medical bills that are going to be incurred.
In a separate incident in Nyeri County, 2 learners lost their lives after a van carrying 25 students was involved in an accident. Several others are recovering in hospital.
And we pass our condolences to the families of both those learners and the teachers who lost their lives.
Meanwhile, the government says it is concerned over teachers' safety in parts of northern Kenya following the killing of Ologo primary school teacher at his home in Ologo sub-county, Garissa County. According to CS Ogamba, teachers requesting transfer due to trauma will have their cases reviewed individually.
Each case will be considered on its own merits. Of course, we have career and psychosocial support for them. They have already been sent to the ground.
So we are calling upon teachers to become and be reassured that all your needs are going to be taken care of.
We know very well that our work can only be done when the environment is conducive for learning or for teaching.
On grade 10 transition, Ogamba noted that 98%, translating to over 1.1 million learners, have already reported to grade 10. He added that textbooks distribution is currently at 60% across the country, with full delivery expected by 10th February.
Now, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentist Union members in Nairobi have temporarily suspended their industrial action for a period of 30 days, marking the end of a 45 days crippling strike that paralyzed public health services across the capital. Speaking in Mbagathi Hospital on Sunday, the union's leadership said the suspension follows a court order directing the medics and the Nairobi County government to develop a return-to-work formula. As John Kahiro now reports, the doctors, however, maintain the failure by the county government to address their grievances will see them resume their industrial action.
It is finally a relief for patients seeking medical services in Nairobi after the striking healthcare workers temporarily suspended their strike on Sunday. Solidarity forever. The brief suspension of the strike for 30 days follows a court order directing the medics under the KMPDU and the Nairobi County government to resolve their dispute amicably and develop a return-to-work formula.
The court said clearly that they want the return-to-work formula to be signed, and they are going to see the progress of return-to-work formula by 19th. We are going to suspend the strike for the next 30 days. Our members are going to resume work tomorrow. So madaktari penye mko, please, anzeni kurudi Nairobi. Kesho tufanye kazi, because anyway, this is what we are trained for.
The move comes after 45 days of a crippling strike that paralyzed public health services across the capital, pushing patients to the brink and stretching the county's emergency care.
And unfortunately, despite the 45 days of staying outside, we have not reached to any agreement with the county. So on Friday, they went to court and we were ordered that we need to suspend the strike. And we are the law-abiding citizens, and we met our members and we agreed that we are suspending the strike.
However, the doctors are clear. This is not a surrender.
This is not a reprieve. This is a warning. You must do right this time round. Do right by the doctor. Do right by the patient. Because come 30 days, we'll be here again. And want to remind you, this time round, again, the ball is in your hands. Do right.
Led by the KMPDU Nairobi Branch Secretary Dr. Malindi Chao, the doctors have accused the Nairobi City County government of persistent neglect of critical workforce issues, which continues to threaten the stability of healthcare. Among the teething issues raised by the medics include the stagnation in promotions to successive job groups, delayed payment of gratuity for doctors formerly under the defunct Nairobi Metropolitan Services, and an ailing medical insurance cover.
We don't have a working comprehensive cover. They have forced us to take SHA. SHA is not working at all.
Not for anyone.
Members are suffering. Majority of 90% of the Nairobi staffs, employees used to go to Nairobi Hospital, Nairobi West Hospital. As at last week, Nairobi West Hospital withdrew its services. So you can imagine how members are suffering. We cannot access these hospitals.
The union has now issued a 30-day ultimatum, warning that unless the grievances are addressed, the doctors will return to the streets.
This is a 30-day strike notice. We are giving you a chance. Because, remember, we have been the people, us as doctors and the patients, who have borne the stress of this hardship. As you guys were moving around, globe-trotting, as you guys were moving around the country, as we are meeting for the retreats, you have not prioritized life. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Traffic accident victims suffer various forms of injuries that could result in years of pain, disability for some, and even mental anguish. Jane Wamboi Ngure is a road accident survivor, but injuries she sustained in 2 separate accidents have forever changed her life. For more than 2 decades, she has battled severe spinal injuries, chronic pain, and depression. Jane and her husband Christopher Kiru, however, have not despaired. She is now appealing to well-wishers to help her raise funds to undergo corrective surgery.
Jane Wambui Ngure, a mother of 4, was born in Vika, Gatanga, Murang'a County. Like many young women, she once dreamed of a normal life. But in 1999, at just 23 years, tragedy struck.
Nilipata accident 1999 na pale Thika Sibiroses, gari ikarus control, ikalol, na hapo nilijisikia nikiwa Thika level 5. Kutoka hapo nikaanza matibabu. Hiyo matibabu iliendelea kama 3 months. 3 months nikashidiwa, wakanituma Kenyatta, nikakuja Kenyatta wakanipiga picha, nikaambiwa nafsi zimefail.
Jane was treated at several hospitals including Kenyatta National Hospital, Aga Khan, Kijabe and Coptic Hospital. Despite months of treatment, her condition did not improve. She lived in constant pain and nerve damage as a result of the accident.
Wakati huo sikuwa najiamusha, sikuwa najiosha, sikuwa najitekia care, kila kitu ni kufanyiwa, kupewa chakula, kila kitu, kuoshwa. Ni Christopher alikuwa ananitekea care.
Mbeleni hangekuwa kiweza kukaa, alikuwa tu nikimwacha mimi nikienda kazini na mkuta pale pale ambapo nilimwacha. Halafu lazima mimi pia nitampidua, nimuoshe, nimpatie chakula, na mambo yote yake na mahitaji yote yake yalikuwa juu yangu.
In 2008, tragedy struck again.
Nilienda nikapata tena accident ingine. Kupata accident ingine 208. 208 nilikuwa tu hadi ile ya kuenda kutafuta, sikuwa nimepona vizuri, nilikuwa naenda na scratches. Ilikuwa pale Mudhurwa, ukikross hapo Mudhurwa. Gari ilikuja kama imenipita, ikanirusha side. Nikapelekwa Coptic Hospital, nilijisikia nikiwa Coptic Hospital. Coptic Hospital walisema nimegongwa spinal cord.
Her health quickly deteriorated. After this second accident, Jane was confined to a wheelchair for over 10 years. The physical pain was unbearable and the emotional toll even worse. In 2008, she was diagnosed with severe depression. Doctors referred her to Mathare Hospital for mental health treatment.
Nilipelekwa hospitali, wakaniambia niende Mathare, nikapelekwa Mathare Hospital. Wakati huo natembea na wheelchair. Depression ilikuwa inanionyesha sina maisha ya kuishi.
In 2012, Jane underwent her first major spinal surgery. She went to India for specialized spinal surgery and robotic therapy. The procedure was successful. For the first time in years, she began to regain strength.
Nikatoka upstairs, nikateremka chini. Hiyo ni accident ya 3. Ile chuma ikatingika. Sasa hapo ndipo safari ya India ilianza. Nikatumia 7 million na nikakaa India mwaka mzima. Hiyo surgery ilikuwa successful.
However, her journey is far from over. Jen still faces daily challenges. She cannot bend, cannot walk independently, and requires diapers and daily medication.
Kuketi chini siketingi sana juu ya spine. Kama ni kujiamusha, siwezi jiamusha, na breed sana. Na bado inaendelea na ninakunywa dawa za kustopisha hiyo breeding, haimaliziki. Sasa haja kubwa inajitoa, haja dogo inajitoa, siwezi enda kwa choo, natumia diapers. Imekuwa challenge kubwa juu kwa kila mwezi lazima nitumie 30k.
Doctors have recommended 2 additional surgeries, including knee replacement procedures, to help her walk again. The surgery is estimated to cost 4 million shillings. Her family is appealing to well-wishers to help her raise the funds so she can undergo the treatment she needs to regain her mobility.
Tumejaribu kutafuta hela, zimekosekana. Najiomba kwenu, munipe usaidizi tu kidogo kidogo ili niweze kutibiwa.
Tunaomba msaada juu safari haijaisha. Bado wanahitaji matibabu. Tumpeleke pale India ili aweze kujifanyia kazi zake. Na pale India tunahitaji tuwe na zaidi ya milioni 4.
To support Jen, you can channel your contribution through paybill number 400200, account number 898219, or through send money on 0713648262.
Thank you, Tess Mutai, for that report. And do give Jen a lending hand. A little goes a long way, so you can see the much pain that she's going through, and definitely her family. So where you can, whatever you can will definitely help. Remember, there's a Swahili phrase that says, hujafa hujaumbika. And the disability club, they say, is one club that anybody can be part of at any point in your life. So do lend a lending hand where you can. Let's shift to sports now, where Joe Waithera netted a brace to help Murang'a Seal claim a 2-1 win over APS Bomet in a Football Kenya Federation League match played on Sunday afternoon. The win put Murang'a Seal on the 4th position of the league table with 30 points after 19 matches.
Hivyo hakuwa mbali na eneo la tukio, ikawa sasa puliza kipenga na kuashiria kwamba ni mkwaju wa penalti.
Murang'a Seal continued their strong run in the Football Kenya Federation League after securing a hard-fought 2-1 victory over APS Bomet in a spirited clash. The hero of the day was forward Joe Waithera, who netted a brilliant brace to hand his team 3 crucial points. Waithera broke the deadlock in the 10th minute, finishing off a well-worked team move that left the Bomet defense flat-footed.
Anamkazia macho. Waithera anatetemesha kamba. Waithera akipokelewa vizuri kweli kweli katika.
However, APS Bomet responded swiftly with Philip Osai leveling the scores in the 27th minute.
KBC Channel 1. Bao linapatikana vizuri kabisa mtazamaji. Pasi na matarajio.
Waithera rose to the occasion once again, calmly netting his second goal in the 83rd minute to seal victory for Murang'a Seal.
Cha muhimu ni ukiangalia timu kwa sasa inaweza sema tumepiga hatua kubwa sana. Vile tunacheza, vile tunazuia na pia vile tunaenda mbele. So kutoka hapo ndakuwa naendelea tu vile vitu tumekuwa tunafanya, na najua mambo yetu itakuwa poa.
Tuna play home, na home lazima tuko na advantage kucheza home because tuna mafans wetu na wanatupush sana, na it's a good show for the boys.
In other results, Kariobangi Sharks beat Ulinzi 1-0, while Shabana claimed a 1-0 win over Bandari.
Kenyan runners posted respectable times at the 2026 Dubai Marathon in the United Arab Emirates, delivering competitive performances in the deep international field despite finishing outside the podium places. Dennis Kipkosgei led the Kenyan challenge in the men's race, clocking 2 hours, 8 minutes and 36 seconds to place 11th overall. Ethiopia's Nibret Melak claimed victory in 2 hours and 4 minutes, finishing 1 minute and 52 seconds ahead of compatriot Yasin Haji, with Rwanda's John Hakizimana third in 2 hours, 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Other Kenyans in the men's field included Dennis Kipkemboi, Jackson Mwangi, Waweru Kamau, and Isaac Maboga, who all finished outside the top 10. In the women's race, Sophia Jebiwot was the first Kenyan across the line, finishing 23rd. Julie Omangi and Mary Gakuo also represented Kenya. Ethiopia dominated the women's contest with Chinalo Desi taking top hours, that is in 2 hours, 18 minutes and 31 seconds, ahead of Mulei De Cabo and Fantu Warku in second and third places, respectively.
And Chinalo Desi.
Thank you so much once again for making the time for us this morning. That's where we put a cap on Good Morning Kenya News. My name is Maria, and definitely coming up next is Victor Olo with the rest of the Good Morning Kenya crew. Good morning.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, has been named among the top 10 best parastatals in Kenya 2026 in a survey conducted by the Kenya Track Survey. This recognition celebrates state corporations that are transforming lives through effective service delivery, and KBC is proud to be among them. For decades, KBC has remained Kenya's trusted public broadcaster, delivering reliable, accurate, and trustworthy information to citizens across the country. From public communication and civic education to emergency messaging when it matters most, KBC continues to serve the nation with responsibility and integrity. We have expanded local content and indigenous language programming, promoting culture, unity, and national cohesion. We are also embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
Kachogo. Nini bana wewe? Tulisikia pa!
We, kuja hapa. Nimekasa hata uweze niingie.
Maintain.
Banyaje buzwi mambo.
Tukufe ama tujinyonge.
Mimi nimekuwa nikizungulika.
Mfanyaje?
Kienda kwa munganga.
Rapodo baby. Nyateni bena. Mimi niko mpaka na bank. Kama ni pesa unataka pesa. Wow.
Lakini wewe ndio unakwanga ni kama my best friend.
Just imagine hapa saa 6 ukiwa yuko juu tunakuja tunaibiwa na waizi.
Sitaki mtu yoyote ajue hiyo maneno.
Tushaongea na nani Matope?
Mbona una behave kama mtoto?
Grandpa, can you see me?
I can.
Dr. Chintong, I thank you.
It's part of my job.
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. It's now 9 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning. It's second day of February 2026. Welcome back to the program. My name is Victor Lo. If you're just joining us, being a Monday, it's High on Politics. Let's take a look at what's in the political segments. There's just so much happening in the country, and I want us to take a look at that and all of them one by one in the next 1 hour. So please stay with us. But first of all, let me start with the front page. Before I do that, my guests are already in studio. Let me start with the only lady, all right, Jen Putunoi, who is the Ewa Sunyiro North Development Authority. She's also an aspiring politician. I will give you more details about her shortly. Jen, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How is Laikipia?
Laikipia is good with its own challenges.
Yes.
But we are good.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And a gentleman who is not new to Jerusalem, who is Honorable Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor of our neighboring county of Machakos. Mheshimiwa, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Always the state, even where KBC is supposed to be in Machakos.
You said that, but there's nothing we can do about it.
No. Anything can be revisited. Anything.
So that you go back to Machakos?
We go back to...
I asked you, we've been friends for a very long time, but why is it that it's the season and I need Kamba friends? You're not giving me something I know. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Why the mangoes? Maybe in the boot.
So I need to visit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Daniel Orog is also on set. Introducing him very shortly. But let me take you through the front page of the local dailies very fast. Let me start with the front page of The Standard. The cover-up. That is what's on the front page of The Standard, the cover-up. All right, and the gentleman on the front page is the police IG, Douglas Kanja. The Standard says that police bosses are playing PR games, refusing to name officers caught on CCTV and hiding behind unnamed quote-unquote administrators as brutality keeps repeating. From Nandi Hills pool hall beatings to church raids, the pattern is familiar. Now, Senator Samson Cherargei accuses Inspector General of Police, that is Douglas Kanja, of shielding rogue officers and dismisses disciplinary moves as a stunt. And now, Kevin Masiri's killing in Kitengela drives the point home. Shot outside a pub. He died as his friend fights for his life in hospital. With IPOA probing and promises piling up, Kenyans are left asking, who will finally be held to account? That is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. And of course, pictures are there, and the gentleman, and on the focal point is the IG, Douglas Kanja. On the front page of the Star newspaper, something that is quite worrying, 85% of Nairobi houses in danger of collapsing, according to agencies. Experts now blame high demand for housing and poor workmanship. 85% done. Are you among them? Good morning.
Good morning.
I could see the way you're holding your sheet. Are you among the 85%? 85%, that's the front page of the Star newspaper.
Well, I was just meditating whether I am also on the red line, because I had the civil aviation, sorry, not the civil aviation, but engineers, the county engineers, giving a prescription of the houses that, are in danger.
Yes.
So when they are saying if you're living in a house and you have a poor lighting on your sitting room, know that you're also in the 85%. So I was just thinking around that. How many of us in Nairobi are in houses where, you light your bulbs throughout the day?
Yeah, 85%, that's a very big number.
So there is a lot of there's a lot of prescription around the standard housing that I think there needs to be a serious audit, not only Nairobi, but I think the major urban areas in this country, to ascertain whether the citizens are risking their lives in houses, that are not previously, constructed, that do not meet the quality standards. So I think, that's a big worry.
Very soon we'll cross over to Machakos.
But of course, good morning, because I think it has been a very heavy week. I am an Arsenal fan. I keep on saying that, and things happen over the weekend. Our wish was that Manchester United to go down the drain, but things are happening, and of course, I'm happy to be on the set. Happy New Year.
You talked of Arsenal, and you could see the way I'm smiling. Okay. Front page of the Daily Nation, grand cover-up, almost the same thing with the Standard newspaper. In here, the latest incident adds to 20, the unresolved cases. The grand cover-up also on the front page of the Standard. But the Daily Nation says that a week after the violent attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua at a church in Othaya, there are still no arrests, and the government has signaled it has no intention of going after the planners of the violence. But shifting the investigation from the DCI to IPOA, officials have now narrowed down organized crime to a police misconduct probe, which means that the politicians and goons blamed for the chaos have been let off the hook. Now, when it gets to IPOA, it means that there will be no civilian who will be arrested and charged. And the Daily Nation has given a key highlight and chronological event on how this thing was allegedly planned. That's on page 5. It's just a glance. It's an order from number 1 up to number 7, how that thing happened. There was a meeting on January 2026 where attack is planned, and so much more. You can take a look at that story on the inner pages of the Daily Nation. Let me come back to you, Mheshimiwa. When you see such kind of events taking place in the country, the president yesterday said that there will be no more attacks in the places of worship, but it has been an occurrence for quite some time. Does Wanjiku have to suffer at the expense of politicians trying to settle their political scores?
Thank you. There are two very serious and renowned professors, Asemonglo and James Robinson. They have come up with a very compelling material on why nations fail. They have also gone back and came up, the two professors once again, came up with another compelling material on the narrow corridor. Now, in the relation to the question you're asking, when a country fails on the rule of law, expect the kind of things that you are seeing. It all boils down to the leadership. I've said in this forum. Now, I've had a lot of respect for the leadership of this country, but when the president says there is not going to be more attacks on the churches, you read a lot. First, in that statement, there is nowhere he is saying the people have been arrested and charged. He has not said there will be arrests and we will see charging of some of these people. Now, I think we are courting a disaster as a country if we are not going to be very careful. Why? This continued attack on the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is going to bring some resistance in future if it does not stop. Why? If we know that these people are planning to use taxpayers' money and publicly financed institutions to attack a certain leader, what happens is the supporters will come forward and provide security, which is a purview which is supposed to be provided for by the state. What does that one mean? It means there is going to be two sides fighting for the same thing. Because these ones, we are saying, I have to say what I have to say.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying, you are not going to say it. What I'm supposed to say is guaranteed by the law. So in this case, how countries fall to civil war, it starts just the way it is starting. We're seeing the security agents moving side by side with criminals, when the security agents are supposed to be arresting these criminals. So in this case, I think in agreeing with these two distinguished professors, I want to say we must be a country of rule of law. Whether you are mighty, whether you are short, whether you are tall, whether you are what, you must adhere to the rule of the game, and the rule of the game is to adhere to the Constitution of Kenya. Finally, our politics needs to be people-centered and agenda-based. We are turning around to say it is only the Kenya Kwanza leaders who have to say what they want to say, and shut anybody else who appears to contradict them. That is a disaster once again. We cannot have a country that it is only a section of people who are appealing to be heard while we are blocking others. That in itself is uncalled for. So I think the statement by the Kenya Kwanza is unfortunate. We need to see people getting arrested, and we have said time and again, there is state capture in this country. It is a reality. Because why is Inspector General of Police appears to be hopeless? Because when this thing happened, it was shown everywhere. We could see this is police officer so and so. We could see this is these are people well known. How comes? What is this they are investigating? They need to arrest these people.
Are we
Victor, look at a few meters from here. Someone was killed in Central Police here. And that matter went round. It is a matter that is in court. But we can see we are hit not for public pressure. That thing could not, where we are today, we could not be there. So in this case, please, and you have also cited something in Kitengela, where somebody was shot at. I think as a country we are courting disaster, and we are not praying for that because we know what it means. We want a united country where we move together forward.
Okay. Jen, you know, you're a social scientist. What really happens in a society when now the whole fabric system that is supposed to govern us is being threatened by people who are supposed actually to protect us? You know, you can imagine now, on a Sunday you dress up pretty fine, you're going to church, and all this happens. Perhaps you and I are used to this, but to children, this is some serious trauma to them. A child will tell you, Mama, I'm not going to church tomorrow or next Sunday because of what happened to them.
Thank you. I'm happy that I'm joining this conversation.
Karibu.
And I just want to caution that let us be careful on the trend that is now taking place in our country. What I'm noticing, and as a social scientist, is that the trend is it's like a political instigated trend, where for me I look at like it's ethnic mobilization towards 2027 elections. And therefore what is happening now is all about politics, bad politics happening. And therefore, when you see such situations happening in churches, then you tend to ask yourself, is this what is supposed to? What is it? What is it all about? It's really unfortunate that this this political mobilization is happening in churches, where children, mothers are supposed to go and get connected to their God. And the children, they find churches to be the place to feel happy and feel comfortable in. And there you have politicians coming and mobilizing, instigating emotional political, mobilization. So it is really very sad what is happening, but I think, and it's all about now 2027. For me, I feel it is all about 2027, and that is a very bad trend.
We'll talk about this, Jen. When you talk about 2027, it will come over and over and over again. But politicians know how to play this game very well, because I think it's on the Daily Nation where there's, it's the way it was planned and all that. There is means that a lot of things are being planned ahead of us that probably you and I, Dan, are not aware of.
Absolutely. First of all, I think I stand at a position like the rest of the leaders have condemned. The heinous attacks, especially at the spiritual sanctuaries and centers of worship. We as a civilized, nation that, believes in constitutionalism, believes that there are certain areas you do not want to touch on, especially when you are in a political war or just a general war. And that is the church, the refugee centers, and the security operations installations. Those are no-goes on areas at any given time. When your enemies seek for safety there, you stop. You don't go into those. I think that is what civilization demands in a situation where there's conflict or war. But I think we have seen a gravitation towards a gross violation, especially that is now escalating to violations of people's rights of worship and rights of expression as such. And I think this, as a nation, we must condemn it, because I've seen a lot of scripted responses to this, where people say, it is the opposition that is meticulously, planning so that they seek a sympathy, all right? You've seen, I think, some assertion towards that direction. You've also seen assertion towards the direction where there are security agencies that we are actually seeing in the vicinity of these particular happenings. And it's quite difficult to say, where does the opposition candidates get tear gas, for example? Where do they get guns, for example? So it is quite difficult to say that operation was, was ordered or was planned by the opposition, because the equipments that are within vicinity are equipments of security installation that I don't think are within the hands of, the opposition politics to manage. I think to that extent, objectively, it seems that, like you said, there are certain quarters, it might not be, probably the entire government, but I think there are sections of people who would want to weaponize our security agencies, towards politics, which is actually dangerous. And I think the DG has mentioned this, that when you see that, it is a replicate of what is happening on the region, where you see in Uganda, the opposition party cannot hold a rally, because once they identify a place to hold a rally, the whole security agencies are in their shoulders. They can't merely talk to the people. They can't merely wave a flag of a country. The whole army would be there. Some would be abducted. That has not really, been produced. The likes of Kizza Besigye are still in incarceration, in custody. Bobby Wine has fled for safety. Nobody knows where he is. I mean, he makes press conferences in the places where nobody knows. In the neighborhood here in Tanzania, I mean, we have opposition leaders seeking safety in this country. And they're only safe once they cross the border in Namanga. So I think the scenes, if you could have a split screen, And that situation in Uganda, that is situation in Kenya, and then the situation in Kaya, it is the same script.
What is
so
the questions that you asked, what is the relation between politics and violence? I mean,
because you see, one of the things is like, if you find one political factions that cannot convince the people around the agenda, then the rest thing is to evoke politics of violence and intimidation. But actually, it's meant to intimidate. It's meant to cause fear. It's meant to cause confusion in certain quarters, so that in itself, scares around people who really want to listen to other political parties or other political alternative views. Secondly, I think there is money and politics and conflicts. Actually, these are the things like you've asked. We are possibly going to see them. Because you'll expect that certain political functions are not going to find it easy in certain political quarters or certain political terrain. So I think here I stand, and a number of condemnation has been made. I think you saw on 25th when Justice Maraga just mentioned that this is a state violation. This is a violation of our national cohesion. This is a state violation of rights of political expression. And when we see things like this, then we are actually exercising the grounds for certain things that comes to 2027 elections. But the question is, have we dissolved our National Assembly? Politics has begun. Are people now campaigning? Yes or no? So because then we have a law in this country, we have seen already the campaigns for 2027 has begun.
Immediately after the last vote.
Where did we dissolve our parliament and now allow,
let's take a break. You all have your cups of tea. I don't have mine. Done. Can we take a break and have mine as well?
Yours is there.
Where? Okay, sir. Let's take a break. We'll break back.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the Positive Warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Come back. All right, I also have my cup of coffee. So we are good to go. Fine, let me come back to you. Jen, when you hear about violence in churches, does it ring a bell way back in 2007, 2008 for selection violence?
Yeah.
Does it remind you of something?
Yes.
Who suffered the most?
The children.
And
the mothers.
Very good. So why are we not learning?
We are not learning because we don't want to learn. Because the trends have been there. 2007, there was violence. political instigated violence.
Yeah.
2017, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what the trend that I'm seeing now, going forward, and that's why I was saying that all these issues is about the 2027 elections.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Political mobilization, is ethnic mobilization, and it's something that it has been there, but now with going forward, I see it's becoming even more worse, because if our politicians are mobilizing people, doing ethnic mobilization, then that's a very, very bad trend. And the people who are going to suffer are children, the mothers, common mwananchi.
Yeah.
Politicians are just there to, for their self-interest. But the real people who are going to suffer are our local mwananchi, who do not even know for them what they just expect is service delivery. But you see, it's really very bad. The situation is really very bad if we go by what is happening now.
All right. I want us to get to something else, but before I get into that, call to action, because there must be a distinction between political ground and a holy ground. That is a church. A church should be a unifier, a common ground for all politicians. Everybody should go there and have some rest, some good news and all that. But when you see this, to some extent, does it mean that now we are not safe? Because a church is a place of refuge, and we are getting all this happening. It doesn't matter to who, but the fact that it's happening to all Kenyans. Yeah.
Biblically, and I know there are people who are not Christians. I know that there are others who are Hindus or Muslims. But biblically, in Israel, any leader who went to war without first listening to what the clergy, the house of bishops, had to say, and the guidance of the God, were defeated. Others were killed in that war. In Kenya, drawing from the last campaigns before we elected the current crop of leaders and the county governments and the national leadership, we saw what happened. The same script happened. And I remember one morning the issue of Keno. That matter rings to my mind so clearly. People had been transported from Thika to Keno to prevent the then Deputy President, the current President of the Republic of Kenya, from attending a church. I remember that very morning, an OSPD overseeing an operation where tear gas was thrown to the church. There was a lady, and I hope to meet her someday, who made a speech that very morning about the freedom to worship, and how as a country we have reached that level of attacking even the people inside the church. The speech she meant so many people in this country to change their minds towards the then presidential candidate and the sitting deputy president, who was perceived to be very much oppressed by the then regime.
Yeah.
Now the same script is happening. I assure you one thing. Church is an only place. We need not to go there. Let's all of us find those who are mandalas, those who are what, we find our solace in the church. That is where we go and appreciate our God. That's where we go and tell our Creator, thank you for the gift of life.
Yeah.
So I think when we start going there as a country, we are messing ourselves up. Let's respect our areas of worship, and I still appeal We needed not the kind of talk I had yesterday. I needed to hear Mwangangi is in police custody, awaiting to be processed, to be subjected to criminal justice system. The issue of shoot the leg, shoot this, that one should not. Let's adhere to the rule of law.
Yeah.
If we want to be strong as a country, if we want to develop. Remember, we are talking of insecurity in this country. And as we continue talking about insecurity, we are also talking, I'm seeing Minister for Health, who has been saying SHA is working, everything is working. They are saying without almost 20 billion, it is going to collapse. It is there in our today's dailies. You can show our nini. And we have been saying this thing is not working from where we sit. They have been telling us it is working. And look at the mess in education sector. I'm saying this very morning, please, the remaining part of this country that should hold is the national cohesion, is the national security. We need not to attack places of worship.
Okay.
That's my point.
All right. Let's come back. Politically speaking, Dan.
Yeah.
Yesterday, are we seeing a return of Nusumkate?
It's in the standard.
Oh,
I think second page.
That is dually speaking. I think it's the Daily Nation.
Yes.
It's in the Daily Nation there. Do you have it there, Dan?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get back to that shortly. But let me ask you, when you had Gladys Wanga yesterday saying that hii ng'ombe lazima tutakata nusu, we all know what's all about. She spoke yesterday during a rally in Dandora after church service, but then now the return of nusu mkate is here. They say tukule haraka haraka so that we don't know what's happening ahead of us. Tutoke kama tumeshiba.
Well, I think for the record, I probably not a member of the ODM. My affiliations is with the United Green Movement Party. I think you've known that for some time.
You can take that again?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the candidature of the Honorable Chief Justice, David Maraga, as a fresh breath of air to this country. Therefore, I may be able to give my objective view on the state of political parties and coalition based on what the Political Parties Act and the Constitution requires. Well, let me state that whatever is happening around in the political parties and the political scene is something that is going to be seen a lot. Because it's normal within the coalition, the search for coalition victor. All political parties, be it those in government, be it those in united opposition, Victor, everyone is going to look. There is no way one candidate, and realistically speaking, no single political parties is able to amass the number of voter turnout to emerge as one party victory to win elections. And you see, after the passage of our constitution, there have been concerted effort by political parties to reach out to like-minded minds so that they form a coalition of like-minded minds to push an agenda. You saw what that happened from 2013 to 2017 to 2022. There's been a need for, can we reach out to friends? Can we reach out to people that we are like-minded with? So you actually see, including what you've just mentioned, that the need for the Orange Democratic Movement as a party, and it's surprising. And the ODM probably might be in a very critical point between a stone and a hard place, because initially the departed Right Honorable Raila Odinga being a force to reckon with in the political scene, at this particular moment when probably he was alive, it's other political parties and leaders who also reach out to him. For him, is there a need for us to form coalitions and in handshakes and have a like-minded coalition? You saw what happened post-2008, 7 election violence when the National Accord was signed at the floor of Harambee House. It's actually the Honorable Mwai Kibaki that reached out to him. Can we form that coalition? Post-2017, at again the floor of Harambee House, the handshake, March handshake, when Uhuru reached out to him to quell the political temperature so that they could reach something that really morphed into the BBI and the rest. Again, post-2022 is who reached out to him, is when the country was headed towards, a wrong direction, is actually the President of the Republic of Kenya that reached out to Raila, the need to have a national coalition. But now we are seeing an ODM that is, jelly about how do we reach out to pre-election agreement. And as a politician, I'm telling you, those guys are going to be fried live, because that is not within the powers of the Orange Democratic Movement. It is a movement that is other political parties that warms up to, not really reaching out to other political parties. And I say this out of, what I'm able to see in the political scene. It is not something that anyone would really want to, talk about. But they're between a hard place and a rock.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you that the UDA might reach out to other political parties as well, right? And if any other political party, leave alone ODM, if any other political parties is quick enough to fold, not to strengthen themselves, so that they'll be able to. But if
UDA dropping ODM for other political parties?
No, not really dropping. What do you know that is hurried bargaining? And I'm not speaking, you've seen other members of ODM talking about it. Why are we hurrying to get into coalition talks? Can we wait? What is the need?
You get the front seat for you to get the front row.
No. There are other people that probably will be invited at the latter time. So
maybe Wiper.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, the leader of Wiper is here. I would be able to ascertain that. But I think it is quite early. I would advise them as a politician, not representing any other view, but myself as a politician and as a commentator. It is early for any other political parties to morph into government. Not only into other. You see what United Opposition is doing.
Yes.
They're actually strengthening each and every political party so that when the time reaches, people are able to speak on the table based on the strength. But that's what I'm saying finally, Victor. Like I've said, I am a member of the United Green Party movement, and I believe in constitutionalism. I believe in respect of Political Parties Act. I believe that each and every political party has a space in this country to express their views, and I think it is early enough. One of the things that we could actually do, and I would advise, each and every political party, why can't we sensitize the young people who have shown the voter apathy? Why can't we morph and ask them to take, to register for votes to vote? Why can't we address the very needs of this country? And Dr. Mongangi has mentioned, we have a situation in this country where we are grappling about our education system. We have a situation in this country where we are advancing about our health system, where we do not know. The drought situation now is biting, Victor. And probably a number of counties have been highlighted out to be in prone of drought. Now, why can't we having an agenda as political parties to sort it?
All right.
What is the need for this?
Let me come back to that. Jen, you are running for Laikipia senatorial seat.
Yes.
Under which party?
Yes, I'm running for senatorial seat under UDA.
Under UDA?
Yes.
So you welcome the talks between you and ODM?
True.
What about the whole outcome? Why the pre-election pact, not post-election pact?
It is just because of, you see, it has been, that is what has been happening all those years.
So we can't do something differently?
There's no party, one particular party that can be able to mobilize the 50+1. So
who needs the other most, ODM or UDA?
Both need each other because of the issues of because of the numbers. So and now the UDA, of course, will need the ODM to support us.
Okay, all right.
Yes, and also ODM would also want to. I mean, because of I know the future belongs to. We are going to win this through UDA.
So you need the support of ODM.
We are assured of the two-term.
This is interesting because now, listen, now ODM, why not any other party? Mwangangi is a member of Wiper.
Yeah.
Why not in talks with Wiper or UDA? Or Wiper does not have numbers?
We are in talks with every party that is we are aligning ourselves with.
Okay.
Agenda. It's all about agenda based.
But can we have something different apart from having coalitions or strengthening our political parties?
No, what I just want to ask, why are people afraid that of UDA joining with the ODM? If that is what the agenda, I mean the agenda between ODM are aligned together, why are people afraid of that? So why is the opposition afraid of us joining with the
with
the ODM?
I'm just being curious. The kind of politics that we've seen, probably, may his soul rest in peace, Raila Odinga used to play. Raila never had any pre-election pact with any political party. ODM used to go full hog with other political parties, all right? Then thereafter, they would have a post-election agreement. We've seen that quite a lot. But why is the rush right now to have a pre-election pact?
But we did the 10-point agenda the other day. The president before, with the Honorable Raila Odinga before he passed on. There was
that is true.
Yes.
But that does not bring a political coalition.
No, it was towards the coalition. So I'm just asking.
Okay.
Yes.
That is interesting.
It is
really. It was not.
I mean, it is just a way of towards working together. So if Raila would have been alive by now, maybe it would have gotten into some sort of partnership and coalition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish there was a member of ODM here to ask this question. But DG, so where does this leave Wiper? Because when you see ODM, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, the Honorable, those two gentlemen they've walked a very long distance for so many years. So where is Wiper right now?
First clarification.
All right.
Wiper and my party leader, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, can work with anybody, save for Ruto.
All right.
That one, let it be very clear.
You can take that again.
I'm saying, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, in Jesus' name, is the 6th President of the Republic of Kenya, can work with anybody in Kenya, anybody, save for Kenya Kwanza and Ruto. That one has to be very clear.
DG, you can record that.
So, what I'm saying is
the archive already.
Anyway, let me put it this way. The question you are asking is why pre as opposed to post election agreements amongst political parties. Yesterday, the sitting deputy party leader of ODM said, why are we rushing this thing? If Raila was alive, and may his soul rest in peace, this is a leader we supported for almost over 20 years and we believed in him. If he could have been alive, he was to be a candidate in 2027. That's what the Vihiga senator, who is also the deputy party leader, said. Raila's own last born said, you are rushing this thing. This is not what Baba believed in. There is a 10-point agenda. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But we can see soon after the demise of our leader, because he was in our coalition, he was our leader. The things rushed so fast, including even confirming the leader, so many things. Some people, a section actually, the largest number of leaders within ODM are not talking about going into any working relationship with the UDA. Why? because of the ideals we have known about ODM, about its leader, liberation, democratization, ensuring freedom in this country, which will ensure national cohesion, which will ensure transformation, which will ensure the country grows.
Yeah.
Now, when you see the current crop of leaders within ODM, and I wish them well, and actually it is a section, it is only a communal, part of a communal, a section, who are believed to have been even imposed to voters in the first place. It is the first election in this coming election, and Mungu atuweke tuione after. Some of these people running around, you will never hear them, because what they are championing is the opposite of what the masses want.
Okay.
We have never known ODM and Right Honorable Raila Odinga to be championing what we are seeing now. We are seeing a totally different political organization in that name, and we wish them all. So in this case, why? To answer your question, because your question is very clear, why? We are saying it is provided for in the Constitution. Yeah. Political organizations can agree before election. They can also agree after the election. But have had a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders. They are saying now they will, with a certain grouping, they will win the coming election with over 3 million votes. I will tell you, the same people will lose with over 5 million votes.
Oh, Jen is not happy about that.
I'm telling you.
Jen is not happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Anybody, you see, this country is a democratic society.
Yeah.
We believe in the rule of law. We don't believe in shoot our youths. We don't believe in this massive looting. This country is in an economic mess. Why? And a project worth 100,000 or 100 million is done using, under Kenya Kwanza, almost 10 times that. Worth billions, because people want to make quick monies and be at the top of the echelon. And that's why you are seeing the investigative agencies in this country look like they are hopeless. They are not able to move. Why? Because they are waiting a phone from somewhere, act on this, do this, arrest this, investigate this, do this, stop this, that kind of thing, and it is killing this country.
Okay.
That is where the problem is.
DG says that you're going to lose by 5 million votes, not win by 3 million.
No, we are going to win by 5 million votes. Not less than 3 million.
How?
Yes. Yes. Because that's what the opposition is really afraid. With now the kind of the political mobilization that we are doing, issue-based political mobilization, not the way the oppositions are saying, but for us, we are issue-based. We are mobilizing in terms of aligning our agenda with the like-minded.
Yeah.
Like now for ODM and UDA and ANC, who have already joined the UDA, we align ourselves in terms of what we can be able to offer moving forward. So I think the whole issue about opposition crying right, left, and center, and even what you are seeing, what we are talking about, the political mobilization in churches, it's just about fear of unknown. Because how do I explain that the other day, you'll see the opposition leader, the former deputy president, geared with, all those protective gears. And the same place he has gotten those gears is the same place he has gotten the tear gas to tear gas the churches. That is what we believe.
What do you
because,
mean?
Yes, because
that he
engineered
his own attack?
I'm sure that is what is happening. Because
unless the Daily Nation is reporting something totally different.
how do you explain someone who can afford to have the protective gears?
No, we also have ours here. We also have ours here as a media house.
Yeah, and so how? So I mean, the tear gas can be found anywhere.
No.
Where he has got it.
And that is a problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
If a tear gas can be found everywhere, that is a problem of laxity in state security. That is a problem and a risk to everyone. And that's what I said, Victor. We cannot comprehend a situation where we have tear gas and bullets and proofs available to everyone. You are creating a state of militia, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's available in street, it's available even in churches surrounding. What are you creating to a country?
You make it look so.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm picking on what Jen is saying.
Okay.
That if that is the case, then we are staring to a problem. Because next moment, it might not be a political party. It might be a situation where somebody else now decide to say, I am using myself, putting myself as a protective gear because such and so want to attack me. Or people can engineer their own issues and whatever you see is militia with all protective gear. So I am looking at it beyond politics. And we are just joking with the country because I think we've never seen a situation where a country escalates to a state of lawlessness like the one we are talking about and laughing about saying, you know, certain so is engineering their own, you know, abduction or we are seeing the state operation being weaponized, you know, to cause chaos and security somewhere. That's what I said. Be it every situation, and this is left for the agencies to investigate. Yeah. I saw, you know, it's on front pages here where the IG is saying that there is an investigation in what happened in the church, you know, in Othaya some weeks ago. But let me say this: I like what Jen is saying, but I want to put that on a weighing scale. That the politics of the country is issue-based. It is not issue-based.
All right.
Right?
The issue
it is not, because then the issues that we should be talking about here is if it's issue-based, what is the statement of education? So what is the statement on
the issue here is,
right?
The issue here is...
I don't know why you're cutting me short, but it's fine.
No, the issue is... Yeah. We do take a break.
Victor.
Right, Mark. I'll give you time to finish. Say with us.
Kachogo. Nini bana wewe? Tulisikia pa!
We, kuja hapa. Nimekasa hata uweze niingie.
Maintain.
Vanyaye buzwi mambo.
Tukufe ama tujinyonge.
Mimi nimekuwa nikishungulika.
Mfanyaje?
Kienda kwa munganga.
Rapodo baby. Nyapeni berna. Mimi niko mpaka na bank. Kama ni pesa unataka pesa.
Lakini wewe ndio unakwanga ni kama my best friend.
Jasa majini hapa saa 6 ujua yuko juu. Tunakuja tunaibiwa na waizi.
Sitaki mtu yote ajue hiyo maneno.
Ongea na nani matope?
Mbona una behave kama mtoto?
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Right, welcome back. So the issue here is then 1 minute to finish your issue.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether
no, we are okay.
So we are safe. I was just pointing on the dangers of in escalation on insecurity, and responding to the first question you asked, what country are we looking at towards 2027? In juxtaposition with what we had in 2007-2008 election. I think, Victor, that is what I was underscoring, and saying that we should not really be sympathetic to certain rhetorics right now, especially when people say, you know, so-and-so was manufacturing their own these, or supporting that there was a lack in state of insecurity when we saw the security agencies giving a protective arm to the people who were actually throwing tear gas. And Victor, you saw that also happening in by-election. I think you saw that. You saw that happening also in an by-election in Western, Kenya. So there is an assumption that our election is slowly assuming a violent nature of it. That then we cannot have an election where people are canvassing and the ground is clear and clean and tolerant for people to speak. And that is setting a wrong trajectory in this country. So I think that's what I was responding to what Jen was saying, and I'm worried because we cannot project how much we are going to win with this election. You are setting our mind to election rigging.
They have the numbers.
You cannot prepare, because let me tell you, and Jen agreed with me, DG agreed with me when I say there is no single political party that is guaranteed a straight win to an election unless you gravitate towards forming coalitions where people have an agreement, a general agreement that they are like-mindedness. And according to what we've seen, we've underscored that it's quite difficult to say that we are going to win this, because even in forming that peer election, there's a problem. Some of the political parties where you are conversing with do not trust you. So you cannot really confirm to this set that indeed when we seal a pre-election deal with certain political parties, we are guaranteed that in the election background, we are going to get this number of votes. Except
ODM has numbers.
But ODM, that's what we say. Like I've said, I don't want to hold brief for them. But coming from an area in Nyanza where I'm saying, as a person who comes from Nyanza, you could see there is push and pull. The Honorable Winnie Odinga is saying, why are we hurrying us into pre-election agreement? You know? On the other side, Oburu is saying, we want these agreements. So they're in the same ODM. So which one is which? But one thing I wanted to say, not to talk on behalf of the party, is just assertion that I'm seeing. If that is happening, if the leaders are divided, then it seems that the electorate themselves are equally divided on whether to support which political function or so. But on that, I wish we could have time to deliberate on the 10-point agenda Jen has talked about, which is, it's not even within the agreement of that party. A lot of violations. Even on that 10-point agenda, there is a number of issues on it, you know.
Great. So, Jen, do we have faith and hope in you? In the next election, you are running for senatorial seats like Laikipia County?
Yes. And I think Laikipia needs a leader who understands the diversity. You know, Laikipia is very cosmopolitan. We have the Kikuyus, we have Merus, we have Samburu, we have Maasais. Almost every tribe, ethnic community lives in Laikipia.
In Laikipia.
And that is the face of Kenya. Looking at the trends now, what is happening in terms of community, mobilization of politics now, even over the years, our county has not been in those fighting modes. Even in 2007, it was a very peaceful county, despite that, we are many communities living together. So I think, for me, I understand those diversities. political diversity, economic diversities, and social. And I have worked in Laikipia. I used to be...
You're also the running mate for Nderitu Murithi in 2013?
Yes, I started by being the running mate of Nderitu Murithi, that is 2013. And so when we lost, I also joined the other government that won and became the CC for trade. So Laikipians understand me and they know me.
Yeah.
They know my capabilities. So I'm not new to them. So, and for me, I understand all those aspects of development, what challenges the Laikipia is facing. Like now, for example, there's an issue of insecurity. Now, resource-based insecurity in parts of Laikipia North, and also...
There was an attack?
Yes.
A day or two ago?
Yes, very bad attacks, and it's just about resource conflict.
Yeah.
Especially when now we are talking about devolution, that has not been able to, to offer services that to the people. You know, education is still very low, illiteracy level, and also the issues about water. So people are conflicting because of resource-based.
And I'm sure you will solve that.
Yes, and I'm sure when I get there, mine will be oversight, of course, to be able to oversight the resources that comes to the county, which is a very critical element of leadership. Because for me, the problem, now we are in 15 years of devolution, right?
Yes.
And if you look at the resources that have been able to get it into the counties like Laikipia, a lot of money, billions of money. But you don't see, you cannot account for that.
So that's why you come in as an oversight boss.
Yes, so I now need to come as an oversight boss and make sure that the resources that goes to the counties are well utilized, accountable, and the projects that needs to be implemented must be implemented.
Right.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
DG, is Kalonzo Musyoka going for the big seat, or is he going to have another coalition with another party? I've not heard from him for quite some time.
Thank you. I want to wish Jen very well in her mission in Laikipia, but she has said two dangerous statements. One, she needs also to learn the roles of a senator. That's very important. Number two, the fact that she ran away after they lost. But anyway, let me leave that one. But my second point, which is very dangerous, is about actually it's
I mean, I was offered a job, and I felt that this is the opportunity for me to offer my services,
so, Jen,
which I was looking forward.
Interesting times. That is the advantage of democracy. But Jen, learn to listen. You have said something very dangerous in your statement, that people with these gas, security gas, can access tear gas canisters, and that is okay, according to you and UDA. I think that is very dangerous. If that is the case, and we have a country, what you are telling the country is that we have a country where politicians should be allowed and have free hand in having militias, because it is militias who do have those kind of things. Those kind of tear gas canisters are a preserve of our security agencies. I need to be safe in the hands of our security agents, not my militias as a politician. So if a section which is more than, actually more than half of this country, which is in united opposition, does not seem to trust the security agencies, that is endangering itself. And if that is what Jen and his people in Uda believe, then they have every reason to be beached. Because their first priority is to provide security to every Kenyan and protect property. That is not the case. Now,
maybe she meant that we need to be very much alert, even to the security system, that if these things are available, then we need to be more alert. That
exactly.
How come that these things are available to even to churches and all that? The security agencies to come and move with speed to make sure that there is a complete mop-up, so that we don't have all these tear gas canisters all over that anybody can access.
Let me answer your second. That is now another perspective you have brought other than what she said. Now, the question of Kalonzo.
Yes.
And going to the big seat. Let me say this. To restore education and ensure we have free basic education. From pre-unit, primary, secondary, upwards, the way we had started with the late third president of the Republic of Kenya, Emilio Mwai Kibaki, the then Kalonzo moment is here. To restore our health care and ensure majority of Kenyans are well covered. And looting spree that was brought by changes which the country was lied to. We are doing changes to better this healthcare sector in this country. Then Kalonzo moment is here. To ensure the looting in the country stops, Kalonzo is the choice. To ensure there is fairness, institutionalism, rule of law, adhering to our constitution, then Kalonzo, the senior counsel, the moment is now. The Kibaki moment of 2002 is now Kalonzo moment. So there is a lot of ills that is happening. Instead of providing solutions to our youths, engaging these Gen Zs, talking to them, we are directing our agencies to shoot them. Instead of engaging them and coming up with the solutions which are practical, we are abducting them. For that to stop and ensure the country is back on the growth path, Kalonzo moment
is here.
2027. And may God in heaven hear those prayers.
Victor, the country needs a reset. And I think I've been mentioning this. We have a problem of recycling the old faces in the Kenyan political scene. And this is why I said, while the country is gravitating towards the search for issue-based politics, like my colleagues have agreed on set, I highly doubt whether we are going to get that, whether the young people who have shown their apathy towards the same old faces for generation. And you see, as a young person, and I know you're very surprised on the political direction I have taken. You know, that really surprises you. But I believe, while we are talking about the rest of these guys, I believe on the candidature of the CJ for one specific reason. Victor, I know people are questioning why so and so. Like I've said, the only person who can stand and reset the country boldly is that senior citizen, the former CJ. And I believe on his agenda on constitutionalism because he has proven so.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So for me, as a young person, I am tired. I am tired of these old things. I'm tired of these same things with all these political parties. So I'm inviting my colleagues, including the DG and Jen, that you see, you need to try something else.
Okay.
You need to look at how then would the young people, and is in this line. Why are you always cutting me short? The rest of their time, Victor.
Because time is up.
When I start talking, it's like you point towards the time and you
time is up.
I said I'm going to do that in less than a minute.
Because time is up.
Now, there is a problem that we need to engage young people in vote registration.
All right.
And this is why in Kwale and in Coastal Province, the United Green Movement Party is having a voter registration in all the 5 counties of the coast. Because we've identified we can speak, we can have political rallies, but if the young people do not have
the right instrument, the right things to vote, then we are just making noise. So I think I invite people towards, this voter registration caravan.
You've talked about your party leader, that is Emeritus Maraga.
Yes.
He's also talked about senior council, Kalonzo Musyoka. Jen, you've not talked about your candidate.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I could see the way you're being unfair to you.
Yes.
Talk about your candidate. In 10 seconds.
Yeah.
In 10 seconds. We are going to Kisumu. Tunamaliza.
It goes without saying that I'm supporting our president, and I know the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
No, we moved to Singapore.
Yes, and yes, true. And we are almost achieving, that is what the opposition are not agreeing, that we are almost achieving all the points that we have outlined in our economic transformation agenda. Look at the issues of infrastructure. So many things that are affordable housing.
So the best person is the president.
The president, and we are going to win that.
Thank you so much. By 5 billion votes. I like the Thank you so much. Jen Putinoi, she is the Wasunyiro North Development Agents Authority and aspiring politician.
Just a minute. I think we had a government-led and a Kenyan consultative program that was set for 2030, Vision 2030. We moved from Vision 2030 and started bottom-up economic model.
No, it's just
because
now, of Vision 2030.
Because now we are now headed for the next election, we are crafting things to lie to Kenyans, that we are taking the country to Singapore.
Director said that I need to call you back here.
We need more time.
No. We need.
Honorable Francis Mwangangi is the Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Asante sana for coming, sir. And of course, Daniel Orogo, governance and political consultant. I received a message from Gabriel Kagombe, who is the MP of Gatundu South. He could not make it. He's just rushed to attend some things in Parliament. So, apology accepted, Mheshimiwa. All right, so thank you. That's why we wrap it up. Asante sana for coming.
Thank you.
Weekly for Catch. If you're hearing me, this is where we wrap it up. I'm handing you over to Weekly for Catch. Wycliffe, good morning. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back with Week from Kisumu. Stay with us.
In a world where news is ever-changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Kachoko. Nini bana wewe? Tulisikia pa!
We, kuja hapa. Nimekasa hata umoja niingie.
Maintain.
Banyaje buzwi mambo.
Tukuve ama tujinyonge.
Mimi nimekuwa nikishughulika.
Mfanyaje?
Kienda kwa munganga.
Rapodo baby. Nyapeni berna. Mimi niko mpaka na bank. Kama ni pesa unataka pesa.
Lakini wewe ndio unakwanga ni kama my best friend.
Just imagine hapa saa 6 ukiwa yuko juu tunakuja tunaibiwa na waizi.
Sitaki mtu yoyote ajue hiyo maneno.
Tushaongea na nani Matope?
Mbona una behave kama mtoto?
And the Good Morning Kenya show continues, and the segment on air right now is the Western Spectrum. It is coming to you live still from Kisumu, and we still at Mirage Palace, this fantastic hotel that continues to give us this chance to air this show live your way from the lakeside city of Kisumu. So definitely when you are in Kisumu, you may want to pass by the Mirage Palace and sample them out. But then again, today we are talking about youth entrepreneurship. Today being the 2nd of February 2026, President William Ruto is in Kisumu, and he will be presiding over the disbursement of the Nyota startup fair, or the capital here in the lakeside city of Kisumu. And the youth drawn from Kisumu itself, from Homa Bay and from Siaya, will be converging here in Kisumu to collect, or rather to be given those facilities. And we expect speeches from the president, also from the PS for Youth Affairs, that is Fikiride Jacobs, and also the SMEs, PS, or rather the PS in charge of SMEs, that is Susan Mangeni. All those speeches will come to your way later on when that exercise kicks on. But for now, just a preemption of what is to come. I have my guests here, one Victor Omolo and Samuel. They are youth entrepreneurs based in Kisumu, and I want to get their opinion on some of the facilities that are available for the youth, in terms of because we understand that there is a high rate of youth unemployment in Kenya, and one of the avenues through that have been advanced to go around this way is youth entrepreneurship. But do we have those facilities that are needed to support the youth? And that is going to form the basis of our conversation this morning. My name is Wycliffe Okech, and straight on, Victor.
Yes.
How is your morning?
My morning is great. My morning is great. We are roasting the president. The weather also looks calm. Yes.
Samuel, how in the county?
Well, just nice, because we expect the president today, and we are sure that he's going to, engage the youth, and on Nyota, we'll see how youths will progress. Right?
Yes, we'll get to understand what the president. But then for the longest time, there have been complaints of youth neglect. The youth themselves have been complaining, okay, we are going to school, but then we are not having the jobs. The jobs are scarce. And one of the avenues that have been advanced to go away around this place, this issue, is through entrepreneurship. From where you sit, Victor, do you feel that the Kenyan youth is still neglected, or there are avenues to go around it?
Well, as we all know, we as a Kenyan people, we have a large number of the youthful population, and that means we need a proper model that can sustain all these youths. I want to say that youths are not going to school to get jobs. I heard Malema in South Africa the other day said very clearly that youths are actually not going to school to get jobs. Youths are going to school to expand their knowledge. So as much as we may talk of youths being neglected, at some point we may also call out the youths that as we go to schools, as we go to training institutions, as we go to various technical institutions, the universities, what we are expanding there is knowledge, so that we can be able to also come up with new jobs. But apart from that, the few that we have cannot sustain us all, because unless we have a regime change, that is when we can think of, or rather, unless the leaders that we are putting in place. You know, some of our leaders, some of the politicians, I rather call them politicians, we put in place do not think deeply when it comes to bringing investments in the country that can support or rather can create jobs for these youths. Some are, you will wonder that you have an MP, someone who represents our constituency in parliament. This person never stepped any training institution. When he's in class 4, he's in class 5. This is the same person that we are expecting to create jobs for the youth. Himself, he has no skills or rather the training to bring new ideas into the field. How do you expect such a person to come to you to give you jobs? Talking of negligence, about negligence, you cannot say negligence. We have various funding platforms offered by the government.
Yes. Before we get to that, we have different facilities, and today it's all about Nyota, but then there are other facilities that I want to know if the youth, Kenyan youth, are really aware of these facilities. But then, Samuel, financially speaking, are the youth included?
Okay, yeah. I think youths I try to be, fixed into this financial space, and I want to concur with my brother Victor by agreeing with him that financial opportunities or jobs is not a matter of attending classwork or going to school. This means that by giving youth, especially those who didn't get opportunity to to advance to another level of learning, we need to give youth sustainable opportunities or platforms to advance themselves on matters finance. Like the government, this initiative of Nyota, I think is a good initiative, and I have interacted with the youths. Actually, they are the beneficiaries. They are really appreciated, and it is giving them that opportunity for creativity, coming up with the economic and entrepreneurial skills. I think it is a good idea. However, I think youths need to be more mentored and given more opportunities. And right now, youths have tend to showcase their financial skills or creativity through online platforms. Some of them do their business, online business, most of youths actually. So I think we need to empower youths more by giving them, digital tools for them to keep on showcasing their financial opportunities.
Victor, earlier on you were mentioning that there are different funding mechanisms that the youth can adopt actually to go around entrepreneurship. Are you, from where you sit, do you believe we are all aware, the youth are all aware of these facilities?
As I was saying, we have various structures that are set up both by the government and the NGOs that are supposed to finance the youths. And I want to, first of all, discourage leaders and the government officials and various agencies from referring the youths as marginalized groups. Don't categorize the youths where we categorize the marginalized people. Youths actually have the power, youths have the energy, youths have the capacity to even rule this country. I believe so. These projects that are always coming up, these are not the first time that we are interacting with such. We've had structures like KIOP that was operating, and you realize that whatever we are doing always is just an improvement of the existing ones. You see, the Nyota is just a little improvement of the KIOP. The only difference that is coming up with the Nyota, sometimes it may be politicized, that we are approaching 2027, we need to bring youths close. We had youths in the 2024 demos, and because we know the youths are hostile to some people that I can't maybe call out, the best opportunity to meet these youths is to bring up this thing. And what we are going to do with this thing, we are going to physically present ourselves in terms of launching. Why are they doing physical presentations? This is sensitization of such of that this program is existing. Why is this not being done for the Wezo Fund? We have the youth fund that is also in the country. It is supposed to be given to the youth each and every time. The youths, even from the youths who are living in the rural areas, these are people who are supposed to know that we have something that is supposed to help us start our businesses, that is supposed to help us run operations smoothly. But unless it is politicized, unless there is a specific agenda that is supposed to be achieved, that is when you will hear. Today, let me just finish. Today, if we were to lack maybe the Nyota Fund, for which the Nyota Fund, I want to specifically congratulate the PS for the youths. He has been trying, and I'm sure even what is happening, he has a very big say, because for the first time we are having a youthful PS nominated by President William Ruto. That means he partly or he fully understands the challenges that the youths and comrades are facing each and every day. But can we just do the same to these other funds that are available? Let us not put a few people in charge. Their work is only to amass wealth. They are only building their political careers with our money.
Before we get to the Nyota Fund, because we've seen the political class having a say in this whole initiative, but then again, Samuel, yes. Are the youth aware of these facilities? Because it's not just Nyota Fund that we have. Initially, we've had, actually not just initially, it's also a facility that is rolling out continuous. That is the Hustler Fund, we've got the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, we've got the Wezo Fund. Are the youth aware of these things?
Just as I said earlier, that I think youths need to be, more empowered, because these facilities are there, but at some point seemingly are not there, because the facilities that they are there, youths tend to access, but some don't access. They are for the few, but the facilities are there, but not in.
What do you mean when you say they're for the few?
They're for the few, because you get a youth is thinking of, is having that business idea, but now accessing a facility, you get that they are only for the few, that we give this one to do this, but some of them, for example, those who are from remote areas, they don't access these facilities, because some of these facilities are being politicized, as my brother Victor Molo said. Yeah.
So from where you sit, you believe that there's no enough sensitization from the side of the government, or from the side of those that are charged with the mandate of rolling out these facilities?
But I want to say this, that at least I can say that this government of His Excellency President William Ruto trying to, putting some mechanisms on how youths are going to access these few facilities. Let me say few facilities, because the reality is that as a country we lack more or enough facilities to empower youths in terms of financial approach. Now, you have seen even in Nyota, before you are given that, let me say funds, you are trained, yes. You are mentored, and that is a good, initiative. So I think mentorship and trainings, they are more important as far as, those facilities are concerned. Yeah.
Victor, it's not just the Nyota Fund that we have. You've mentioned we have different facilities. What are some of those hurdles that yourself you faced and the Kenyan youth in general they face in terms of accessing these facilities?
There are a lot of challenges when we talk of hurdles. First, let me mention that yourself, if you had two types of courts, one is, yes, both may be well polished, but as you move out of the house, each and every day you realize that people love one coat each and every time. Therefore, you stop wearing the other one most often. You put it at the back of the shelf, and then now each and every time you have to dress in that coat which people love. The same has happened with whatever we call the enterprises that have been formed for the youth. You find that as soon as they realize that one particular fund is not serving the purpose of the government, not the purpose of the youths, it tends to be deteriorated in terms of performance. Then that is how it goes down until no one talks of it. Right now, people may be talking about Nyota because leaders from across the divide are seeing the president coming to each and every region, launching the note alongside other leaders of that region. So you find that people are talking about Nyota. As they talk about Nyota, someone is out there now amassing what is meant for the youth that has been there even before Nyota. That includes the Uwezo funds that you were saying, the youth funds that you use. Those people right now are very quiet and they are not mentioning a lot about these opportunities for the youths.
Just on that very note, does the youth just sit and wait to be told these facilities are available, or the youth themselves should be proactive enough to follow up and do their research and find out how these facilities can be accessed?
Why don't we take the energy that we employed in Nyota to also use in these other platforms? We had if we were to leave youths to know Nyota by themselves, maybe probably there are even youths without smartphones. There are youths without the TV, maybe the televisions. The SMSs were sent. Why don't we have the same energy informing the youths that you are now 18 years, we've noted that you recently took UID. There are opportunities you may wish to venture. We know that you are a young man, you may not be having a lot of funds. Why don't you take advantage of this, the one for your choice? Okay. About the hurdles, the challenges, I think there are two main challenges that I've noted. Number one, we've not really invested in financial literacy. The youths have not been really sensitized on how they should use the kind of funds that they... Because if you see what is always happening, you will realize these trainings are often offered shallowly when there is need. Like now, I was very keen on the trainings that were ongoing all over the country. You will sit down with the people for 1 week, and you tell them they are now ready to use 25,000 or 50,000 to start a business. Tell me how someone who maybe never touched 10,000, you want to give him 25,000 with some 2 ideas for 1 week that is supposed to start a business, and that business is supposed to grow the economy. I think that is a very wrong approach of doing things. If we want to be serious about doing things, why don't we identify these opportunities ourselves, find appropriate ways to fund these opportunities, then now call the youths. We now have these enterprises. Can you now bring your skills? Can you now bring yourself and let us make the GDP of Kenya be a little bit higher? That is when we can now start saying that we met youths, we helped youths, they are earning a lot. But otherwise, the funds that are being disbursed, many youths are using it kupiga sherehe.
Yes. Let me pick your mind on what you believe on what you've noticed are some of the hurdles when we try, or rather the youth try to access these facilities, let alone the Nyota Fund. You've mentioned earlier, we've got different facilities for financing youth entrepreneurs. What are some of the hurdles in terms of accessing all this?
Thank you. Now, I think some of these challenges that youths, as I said earlier, that youths lack enough mentorship in terms of accessing these facilities. Because if
I may put it straight, have you tried to access any of these facilities yourself?
Yeah, but as I told you, these facilities are not, everywhere to be accessed. They are for the few.
Yeah, I don't believe it's for the few, because
it's for the few.
When it is targeted, it's targeting because Uwezo Fund is not for the few. We have different components. The women also benefit from that. The youth benefit from that. And it's meant for everyone. Have you tried to access any of these funds?
Yeah.
What are some of the hurdles that you faced? Give us the
Yeah, personally, the challenges that I faced is that, there are a lot of discouragements coming, especially from politicians, that, no, this one is wrong. So we don't give enough sensitization to youths when they are trying to access these facilities. Like me personally, I was so discouraged that this one who gave you this opportunity, or who told you that this one is important, or from politicians. And I can tell you without any fear of contradiction is that these politicians, they do discourage youths from accessing these facilities, and that is true. And another thing is that I think just as what they are doing in Nyota, I think we need to be given more trainings, financial trainings, because they will help youths to understand how to, advance in terms of financial literacy.
I agree with you on that in terms of continuous training for the youth on how to manage this fund so that the intended objective can be met. But then there's something you've just raised that I'm a little bit perturbed by. Do you really need to understand what the political leaders tell you about these facilities, yet it is for your own benefit?
It is. I agree. It is for my own benefit. But now, just as I've said, these discouragements, there are also factors that influence how you can access or how you are going to use those funds. For example, in Nyota, there are those politicians who came out encouraging youth that, if you are given those funds, go and eat, go and do what? So such discouragements or such advices, they are factors. They are factors.
While I'm still answering on that question, when you say that you don't need to listen to politicians, there is a reason as to why people are elected to be leaders in a society. And there is a reason why we have the roles of an MCA, the roles of an MP, and most times you will find that representation almost cuts across. And when you represent me somewhere, I expect you to give feedback on whatever you go there to represent. Some of these things, your members may not know. As a leader, as a politician, we expect you to expand in every political divide or in every gathering that you are meeting your constituents. We expect you to expand to the parents so that the parents can expand to their children. We expect you to expand this kind of opportunity to the youths so that they can take advantage of it. Let us not elect you and you are also there. Now differentiating you with your constituents is becoming a problem because you are all thinking in the same line and we don't know who is now representing who. We need people who, when we elect you outside there, when you are given the leadership mandate, we expect you to act according to the mantle that you are given. And the reason as to why I'm mentioning leaders, there are leaders and there are politicians. Let us differentiate politics in all these things that we are doing. The interference, the political interference that is always coming out of these things, is what affects this thing the most. And the thing that we do in this country is rewarding our loyalists. You find that as Omolo Victor, you climb the ladder and then you now forget about competence and integrity that you've been preaching to the people. You now start rewarding loyalists, and you don't reward loyalists in terms of how competitive they are in this post. Every human has his or her place where he or she can serve best.
Let us just keep this conference of youth entrepreneurship and the financial.
Yes. That's where I'm coming from. When we now take people who do not understand whatever they are doing in terms of these enterprises, there is no way the youths can benefit. As much as the youths may come out, they don't know that the youth need financial literacy each and every time, that we are always enrolling different cohorts of youths. Youths are not stagnant. You are 18 years once in a lifetime, maybe you are educated how to use your funds. It is not the same way, because the economy is also growing. We are approaching Singapore, as you've heard being mentioned. We cannot be approaching Singapore with the same mindset we had in 2011. That means as we do these things, we must offer this kind of trainings each and every time. The reason, as Dwyer was mentioning politicians, when they now come into these things, they want to give someone to strive to give the people that have been supporting them. When you are elected, or when you are nominated, or when you are chosen as a director of something, you now represent everyone. You don't represent a section of people. Finally, let us do sensitization on these things. Let us ensure in our framework of work in the youth sector, in these youth enterprises, we at least have a portion of a budget that is engaging the young people. I'm proud that in our constitution we have public participation. Let it not be mistaken that public participation only involves the older people. The youths also need to have public participation on these things. Let the youths come out and say that we as the youths, while we appreciate that we have Uwezo Fund, while we appreciate we have the Nyota Fund, even the help that is supporting students at the higher institutions is also part of the financing that is supporting the youths, because it's supporting in terms of their education needs. We need to come out and hear the challenges that they are facing. Let us just assume as a country that we face the same challenges each and every year. Thank you.
All right. Samuel, from you, where's the focus of the Kenyan youth today? Do we still incline onto the idea of getting white-collar jobs after finishing up with their education, or the 844, or rather the education system? Once you have those qualifications, do we still focus on getting those white-collar jobs, or we are going the entrepreneurial way? Where is the focus of the youth today?
I think I'll answer that question by saying that part of youths, or some youths, are still confused. They don't know which way to go.
It's a big one. What do you mean?
Yeah, because being confused means that you don't have any idea, or you don't understand both the two ways that you have mentioned. And some, or maybe most of youth tend to go in an entrepreneurial way, because this education seems to some youth not being that much important. They want to be creative. Youths want to be creative, So I think entrepreneurial way is for the many youths.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you are so easy.
Just a bit. I'm really feeling very itchy with this.
Just hold on a bit. Just hold on a bit. But still on you, Samuel.
Yes.
When we talk about the focus of the youth, because we know, other than the office jobs that have been there the whole time, the traditional way of getting employment, there are also other mechanisms, and that is where the innovativeness of the youth, because we know the youths are tech savvy and they are innovative and they come up with different ideas, and that's exactly, we have those funds that you can come up with an idea, apply to these funds to fund your idea, so that you don't have to seek traditional employment as it was before. Are we proactive enough as the Kenyan youth?
I'll say that, you see, you'll agree with me that the rate of unemployment is very high.
We agree with that.
Yeah, so personally as a youth, I'm very proactive, and what I can say is that as youths, we need to think beyond we need to, become more innovative. We need to be creative enough to address this issue of, employment. Most of youths, when right now you can walk around and ask any youth what is the issue with this employment. Most of youths tend to blame the government. We need to have skills, so that on self-employment we can become, more proactive, and we can become more innovative and creative enough to challenge this issue of unemployment. I think you well know that as we keep on going, youths are becoming, the largest number in terms of the population we have. So that's why I'm saying the rate of unemployment is, increasing day by day.
Right.
So I think self-employment will work. Yes.
This is from you, Samuel. But then, Victor, again, where's the focus of the youth? Do we still have to climb on traditional employment opportunities?
Something funny happened, I don't know, it's Gambia or Zambia. Something happened in the last election. When the youths realized that they were the majority, they decided that we've tried everything since independence to change this country. And we've realized that most of the times, even when we have good ideas, they cannot be implemented because of leadership. Now they decided that we are going to vote in leaders. Actually, we are going to vet leaders ourselves. Man, as even the independent commission for election vetting them. Now, when they vetted leaders, the first thing that they were checking that, are you corrupt? Have you had any history or scandal, history of corruption in the past? And what is your track record of leadership? Are you able to deliver when given? Now, when they checked about 3 factors, and when they went to election, they almost elected 80% of the MPs who had those qualities. Now, they started seeing changes in everywhere, because these are leaders who had ideas. These are leaders who supported the ideas that they had as young people. We may not reach Singapore today. We may not reach where we want to reach as a nation today. I'm still bringing it up. The reason I'm bringing that focus, I'm bringing the focus of the youths. You see, the youths of Gambia had a focus. They had a long-time vision for what they wanted to change. Unless the youths of this country are going to change their focus towards leadership, leaving the politics of handouts, thinking about their future, thinking about the rate of unemployment that we have, thinking about their ideas that they put into proposals every day that are rotting in government offices in various sectors of this country. That is when the youths... Now, even the government has realized that the youths want to think towards that direction. That is why you see they've come up with CBC, something that is practical to help the youth develop skills. What we ask is very simple. We cannot assume white-collar jobs and now all be creatives. And we cannot all be creatives and leave the white-collar jobs. The truth is just we must balance the same. We must have someone working in the bank, for me, someone working in the street to go and withdraw my money. So the only thing we need to do is to ensure that the people that we are putting in place are able to accommodate our ideas that we have in place. The youths are very bright people, full of ideas, full of energy, full of activeness. That proactive factor is in them.
That's what it's right there. For just a minute to wind up. And then Samuel, we have spoken about the assertiveness, the proactiveness of the youth. And from where you sit, for these facilities to function properly, for they to achieve the intended purpose, what do you think should be done in just under a minute as we wrap up?
Before I answer that question, I want to agree with my brother Victor Molo here that I think youths should be given opportunities, in political space, leadership, to showcase their skills. Let us erase this issue of having old people in serving in higher offices. We should give youths an opportunity to showcase their skills. Now, back to your question. I think mentorship, as I said earlier, it is very important. I'm still on that. Mentorship is very, very important. Number two, I think we should, sensitize youths. We should sensitize youths through digital platforms because nowadays youths understand digital language than even any other language. So I think we need to do more sensitization. We need to, give platforms to youths to showcase their, creativeness and innovativeness.
Thank you so much. And Victor, as we wrap up just in 1 minute, what ways should the country adopt to ensure that these facilities that are meant for the youth actually realize the objective?
Because of time, I only want to say one point. Personally, as Keromolo Victor, MCA Market Milimani Ward 2027, one of the things that I intend to fight in this country is corruption. If it is possible, let the government form a multi-agency team, just like we have the ethics and anti-corruption unit that is covering the whole sector. Can we form a multi-agency that is combining all these forces together, that is bringing together all these sectors that are providing finance to youth, so that we have at least check-ins going in every day, knowing that these people, are they working with the funds that we are giving them? Who is the beneficiary? How are the beneficiary operating? So let us just have a multi-agency team that is consolidated by the government, that is doing their work, that their mandate is fully to understand and to make sure that the youth funds are doing the intended purpose that they are intended to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The discussion we've been having here this morning regarding youth entrepreneurship, because there is that shift actually from the traditional avenues of employment, that is the white-collar jobs that the people have been running after the whole time. But then now there is a paradigm shift in terms of solving the whole issue of youth unemployment. One of those avenues is through youth enterprise and youth entrepreneurship. But then in terms of facilitating all this, the government has definitely availed funds through different mechanisms. Not just one of them that the youth need to play that proactive role in terms of following up and accessing. Well, like I mentioned earlier, the president is expected from around 10 actually to lead the disbursement of Nyota business startup capital at the Mamboleo grounds, and definitely will bring those proceedings to you live later on. That is the discussion we've been having here with my two guests, that is Victor Omolo and Samuel, and I believe you've earned a land and been educated enough regarding this whole issue of youth entrepreneurship. Until next time, my name is Wycliffe Okech, and I want to appreciate you, for the viewer, for availing time to listen to this entire conversation as it comes to you live from Kisumu. Good Morning Kenya show continues with a health check with my colleague Vivian Degwa on the other side in Nairobi.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
bana wewe? Tulisikia pa!
We, kuja hapa. Nimekasa hata uweze niingie.
Maintain.
Banyaye buzwi mambo.
Tukufe ama tujinyonge?
Mimi nimekuwa nikizungulika.
Mfanyaje?
Kienda kwa munganga.
Rapodo baby. Nyapeni bena. Mimi niko mpaka na bank. Kama ni pesa unataka pesa.
Lakini wewe ndio unakwanga ni kama my best friend.
Just imagine hapa saa 6 ukiwa yuko juu tunakuja tunaibiwa na waizi.
Sitaki mtu yoyote ajue hiyo maneno.
Tushaongea na nani Matope?
Mbona una behave kama mtoto?
Grandpa, can you see me?
I can.
Dr. Chintong, I thank you.
It's part of my job. Thank you all. Thank you.
Good morning, Kenya guests. To continue, thank you for staying with us. My name is Vivian Dagwa, and right now we get into matters family check. And our conversation today is on child protection. Specifically, we'll be looking at child protection and safeguarding and just trying to look at the status of that in Kenya at the moment. And I'm pleased to be joined by one Joseph Gitu, and he's the program coordinator, St. John's Community. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you.
All right, let's first of all begin by just describing the states of child protection and safeguarding in Kenya as it is today.
Thank you for having me, Vivian, and the KBC. This is my first time to be on air, but I've had 2 decades of my work in child protection.
Okay.
I'm happy to have this discussion. I would say that the Kenya as a state, we have done tremendous in child protection and safeguarding, though we haven't reached where we're supposed to be, because children are still being abused. The status currently is where 1 out of 2 children are being abused. And this is alarming. We need to take action. Both the government, other partners, stakeholders, and even community at large.
Yeah.
So I would call upon everyone to come out and help in reporting such cases, addressing those children who's been affected by any form of abuse and exploitation. Yeah.
Well, that number is really alarming.
Sure.
You know, I saw that as I was reading through, you know, some reports, and it says 1 in every 2 children experiences some sort of harm, some sort of violence during childhood. That is like half
of the population.
Half of the population.
Of the children, yeah.
That is so alarming. Why is this the case? What is amiss?
I think having worked with communities, especially in both urban and rural areas, there's this connection between poverty and the needs of the children. So you get that most of the parents are going through stressful situations. And so sometimes they are, because of poverty, you find that children require support. And when they request for this support, the caregivers lack that kind of support because they don't have resources. So what happens? They end up abusing children. We also have the issue of use of drugs in the country. And I think this is also very alarming, where the drugs are coming within our land, where when people abuse drugs, they tend to, get to a situation where they may not be themselves. They may not understand exactly what they are doing.
Yeah, they don't.
So you get that children are being affected by people that they know most. And this is really worrying, because you find parents abusing their own biological children, the fathers, the mothers. This separation. And we've had recently a lot of killings for children. This is very, 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 very sad for the country. So I think the bigger chunk of the abuse is coming from poverty within the country. And I think it's high time for us to think, how best can we find ways to support children who require support and the caregivers are not in a position to support. A good example is just the concluded grade 10 enrollments in high school. You realize that though we've done tremendous, almost 98% according to just the recent report, but the 2% are children. We need to value them. Remember what Jesus told us. You don't just go to the 99. You need to get the one child that is isolated, that is neglected, that doesn't have some form of support. I really agree with the Mama Mbogas from Kisumu who took a child to school. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was so good to see.
How much do we have as a country that we have an opportunity to support the 2%? But it seems like no one is caring. So how do we consolidate efforts? Because Kenya is not poor. Kenya is rich. But then you find the resources are not really, focusing on how best we can support our own. Imagine children going to school without the kind of attire, the uniform that is in a particular school. What does that tell to the child herself or himself? You're within 300 population of children in a school, but you're wearing your former primary school uniform. It is very sad. We have the area MCAs, we have the chiefs, we have the MPs, and we have the capitation. So before we get these children to school, why can't we make arrangements and have these children in their full uniform so that no one would notice within the school that this particular child is needy, because that tortures the child. So for me, I think we need to do better. And I know the government has really tried to support this through the children department, but I think much more needs to be done.
There's still a lot that needs to be done.
Sure.
Clearly, because if we look at that statistic,
Sure.
it's very worrying. And I want to get back to that.
Yes.
Even when it comes to reporting, of a case of child abuse, I don't know how that looks like. How easy is it? How difficult is it for you to go and report child abuse? Is there a specific office you need to go report to? Is there a specific police station? Is it are you going to report at the police station? Are you going to report at the children department? Or where exactly do we report this, and how easy is it to do that?
Thank you, Vivian, for that question. We have three kind of, centers or structures for reporting. The first one is the police station. It's so sad that within our police stations, we don't have the units for children. Yes, we have, but in few of our police stations. I think this is where now we need to come in handy and support those units in all the police stations. Because when you have the units, you get to, have officers who are, inclined to children's rights. They have the language, they have the interest of the child at heart. But when you go to an ordinary police officer, they may not really act as a child advocacy champion. They may not. So my request is that we have these units in all the police stations. That is one area where these cases can be reported. The other area is the State Department of Children's Services offices.
Yeah.
And these offices are situated next to the Commissioner's office. We have officers who are well trained. We have officers who have experiences about child abuse, child protection, safeguarding, And so every member of the community has a right to get into these offices and report the cases. I think there's some perception that when you report someone, then you become you become a threat.
Yeah.
And so it is high time for us to be passionate, in reporting cases of children who have been abused. Then the last one is through 116. This is a toll-free line.
Oh, there's a toll-free line.
Yes,
for that.
116.
Okay.
And you can call this number wherever you are in the country. You can use any service provider, and it's free. Within the setup, there are counselors, there are officers who take action. So you don't have to really be there physically.
Yeah.
That takes care of those people who fear going to the offices. But I think it's high time we agree, Vivian, that our officers are so friendly. They cannot really accuse you because of reporting children cases. But again, I would report that the time I've been serving children, I noted the number of officers within the children office, they are very few.
Okay.
You might find, like for example, in a whole constituency, it's just 1 or 2 officers. But children are more than that. So how do we take care of the gaps? I know we have the volunteers, but then these volunteers are not paid for by the government. They don't get the stipend like the CHPs. And even if they get, maybe the transport, facilitation to getting to those cases. How do you live in Kenya today without your own upkeep? How?
Difficult.
How in Kenya? How? The life is very expensive. So I think it's high time we call the partners, UNICEF, government ministries, to think about this. And one of the areas where I would really support us to intervene is on the staffing. The staffing, the structure, the children's structure, where if the CPVs, because they've done a good job, if they're supported with some form of salary, I wouldn't say stipend, because that won't allow them to do a good job.
Yeah.
They have the heart, they have the passion, but then they cannot deliver without adequate support. So it's high time we ask the policymakers within the government structures, both national and county governments, to think about how best to formulate policies that may support such structures. Because if those structures are supported, children will have a structure to support their needs. So when they are abused, when they're exploited, the volunteers of children and the children officers, they'll be able to pick up the issue pretty fast and process. Again, some of these officers, imagine, walk within some distances. Think about Kajiado, where I've worked for the last 9 months, just recently. And the distances are far away from one household to the other household. It's a distance away. They don't have motorbikes. They don't have vehicles. Imagine walking for about 8 hours to rescue a child. And you're rescuing a child that is already affected. You need such kind of facilitation to ensure that you can pick this child safely and quickly get them to hospital, have the evidence ready, report to the police, have the court cases to be processed. Because another area where we are failing as a country is where the cases lack evidence, because if a CPV, for example, is not able to, get these cases up front, like report within 72 hours, it means that case is lost. So if you report after 72 hours, nothing will happen. The court cannot really process that case because they don't have an evidence. So it's high time for us to think about the children, because children are our future. And all of us should take responsibility, including the caregivers, the family members, the community, you know, the government itself, you know. And I've mentioned, and I'll repeat again, Kenya is rich. We need to act and act now. We need to get resources to support child protection and safeguarding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. And yes, you know, when we protect the children, we are protecting Kenya's future, because they are, you know, Kenya's future. We'll get into the policies, because I would love to know maybe what are the current laws and policies that are in place. Before we get to that, I want to get back to the reporting bit, right? So a child has been abused at home.
Yes.
One way or the other, maybe that case has been reported, whether by the neighbors or just some good Samaritan has reported the case. Then what happens after reporting? Because if this child is being abused at home, do we have enough safe houses? Because now you go and report, but this child is supposed to still go back to that home where they're being abused. You know, there was the case we saw on social media the other time where there's this child who had been kept away because they have a condition. I think they're autistic or something. They were kept away, locked in some structure for years. This baby doesn't even know how to walk, because all they see maybe are dogs, so that's how they assume people move, because they never see people.
Very sad.
So very, very sad. So for such a case, you go and report, and then what? Because now they need to go back to this same place where they get traumatized, this same place where they get to face sexual abuse and the likes. So do we have enough safe houses in the country? And are we looking towards what happens after reporting to ensure that this child is safe?
Thank you for that question. I would say that the safe houses are few. And you realize that the NGO world has been very instrumental and very supportive. But again, the envelope has been shrinking. A good example is where USAID, that had almost 300 organizations supported in Kenya, has since exited. So what happens to those children, you know? So in terms of reporting, the reporting may be done. But again, like I'd spoken earlier, we lack facilitation to process those cases. I would also add to even the judiciary. It is high time. Just I think this week, the president, the president of the judiciary, just had a positive approaches to addressing people who are arrested on a Friday, you know, drunkard and all that. Why can't we have a similar kind of intervention on the cases that touches on the children? Why can't we also have a form of reporting these cases quickly, you know, processing the cases quickly? Because sometimes the courts also takes a lot of time, you know. Also the media. I know in the media, something that is negative becomes the news. These cases are reported, well and good. But again, what happens after? It is high time for us to follow through. And we get to know that the perpetrators of the abuses and exploitation have, you know, have been processed. And the end of the case should also be reported, so that the community gets to know that once you abuse a child, you will not rest. That case should be, you know, should go through the whole process. So it is high time also the judiciary to consider, you know, having, I know there are children courts, but then you realize that the cases are taking longer, you know. A child may not have a memory like an adult. So today they may say this, tomorrow they're different. And sometimes they're also coerced that, you know, this is your daddy, this is your mom. If they're going back without being safeguarded, the safe houses are not there to keep them, you know. So you realize that they changed their tune. So meaning we lost such cases. So it is high time for us to, as a government, to invest more resources on children. Surprisingly, there are structures. There is the AAC, area advisory councils at the location level, at the sub-county level, at the county level, and at the national level. But then those structures cannot work without resources. The decade I've been working, the 2 decades, we've been supporting as an organization to such structures. And sometimes because of the resources that are not enough, we are unable to support. So you realize that the meetings are supposed to be held every quarter. So sometimes they are held once or even twice in a year. Very sad, because it means children issues or matters are not discussed as supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's high time the government agencies, both the county and the national government, to rethink on how to allocate additional resources, additional budgets, additional resources in terms of staffing, to ensure that children matters are addressed and addressed quickly. That would be my take.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on safe houses, we definitely don't have enough of those?
They are not enough. Okay. That's a fact. Yeah. But again, we are trying to do away with the safe houses if we can manage the cases at the family level. I'll give an example.
Go ahead.
Even you as Vivian, you must be rich working here, or you must be, exposed to better facilities. But if I take you in a hotel for 2 weeks, by the first week, Friday, you'll be like, can I go back home? Because you feel like you need home.
Yeah.
The same practice should happen to children. Why do we keep them in a home? They do not belong to a home. They belong to a family. They belong to a community. So we have reviewed policies to ensure that children are safeguarded, are protected within the family settings.
Okay.
That is the new threats. So we're trying to do away with the safe houses, the homes, and within families. If a child is abused, say it's my brother or my sister, I have also a brother or sister who can take care of my child, So that is the threat. So if we can be able to offer quick response on the abuse cases, on the exploitation, then it would really help us, because even if you keep your brother's child or sister's child for 2 weeks, 1 month, that's okay. But if a case takes between 3 months, 6 months, you get tired, okay? So it's high time we allocate additional resources, and there is money. Children officers do not have vehicles, and even if they have motorbikes, imagine ladies in Kajiado with a motorbike, would they survive? It may not work for them. So can we facilitate them adequately? There's something we had asked about the region. In urban, we can survive. In urban, it's a bit easier, where the households are next to each other. Someone can just walk and, even walk to the office and address an issue, or maybe to a court. But when it comes to the rural homes, the case is very different. We need that kind of facilitation. So unless we invest in children, we may lose this battle. So my take is that within the formulation of the national budgets, it is high time we invest more resources on our children. They never, vote or decided to be born in Kenya. They never decided to be in the family they are in. And a child is innocent. You can look at just the previous exam results, where we had 400,000 of our children getting a D+ and below. What is that? It doesn't mean that those children are, are full. No, they are not. It means that there's something that we didn't do as a country. Why is it that even the grade 10, very few public schools had students going there. Everybody is investing in taking their children to a boarding school.
Yeah.
Why not a day school? So if we invest well in our day school, have the right teachers there, qualified teachers there, adequate teachers, you know, conducive environment. I like what Dindi Nyoro is doing.
Yeah.
I'm just proud of that. By the way, I'm the PA chair of Murang'a County, even as I speak. And I like the way Dindi Nyoro has really focused on education.
Very commendable.
Politics aside, he has done marvelous. Because within a family setup, just next to home, if we invest more in those schools, have enough textbooks, have you know, meals for these children, have anything else that they require, the classrooms, you know, children will perform, they will deliver. Personally, I went through a public primary school, you know?
Yeah.
I know if resources are invested there, you know, we can have better Kenyans.
The story will be
If I didn't go through a primary school that was very invested, it means I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
So it is high time for us to invest there because, again, we cannot have everybody in a boarding school because the schools there are already congested. You know, you can imagine like an example of one high school that I know with about 600, 700 students, 500 students. Or else the others are, you know, empty. You saw just the other day in the media, 3 students, 4 students, with all the facilities. But what does that mean? It means that we have a gap in terms of, you know, investing in education. And we're investing in education to build the capacity of our children, you know? So it's high time. Also, on the same breath, now that we're speaking about child education, we don't have textbooks. Even as I sit here, the textbooks are not in school.
Yeah,
we're in February. We're in February.
Yeah.
So the question is, why?
Okay.
So it is high time for us to prioritize on our children. Those books should have been in the schools by December. We had the statistics. We knew that children were joining school in January. So why are we in February without textbooks? It means the teachers will have a lot of pressure to deliver on the curriculum. It means the students may not deliver in terms of performances.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot that need to be done on the children in Kenya.
It's a huge gap, and it's on very different sectors.
Yeah, sure.
You know, when it comes to the children, but different sectors.
Sure.
Because now you've even gotten into matters education.
Yes,
you know, that's away from abuse. Like there are different sectors, and they all need to be looked into.
Sure.
What is the current, you know, state when it comes to the policies and the laws that are in place right now?
Thank you for that question, Vivian. I know our constitution, 2010, stipulates the right to children. This is survival rights where children need to have rights to life.
Yeah.
It speaks to development where children need to, you know, feed on well, participate in school. Imagine this is in the constitution, that all children must be educated. And I'll repeat again in the national media that the government needs to act faster and quickly on the 2%. We should not leave out the 2%. They are Kenyans. They have rights to education.
Yeah.
The other area is right to participation. Children need to participate. They need to make choices on issues affecting them. Depending
How does that look like?
Depending on the age.
Yeah, when it comes to participation of children,
Yes.
how do we get the children involved?
There are several structures. For example, we have the Children Assembly. That's a structure that is well established, where children, you know, erect their own in schools, and then that structure goes to the sub-county, from location, sub-county, and also the county. And then within that structure, the children are able to address issues affecting them. Sadly, again, you may note that the structures do not have resources. And I think that is where we have the bottleneck. the assemblies are spearheaded by the masses of NGOs. So as a country, again, we need to invest there, because that is when we get to know exactly what are the voices of the children, what are they saying about, you know, issues affecting them. Because unless they speak by themselves, we may not know. Yeah? Let me give you a practical example. My son, who is seated in this studio, at I think he was in PP1 or PP2, decided to, or rather I was happy that he was #1 in class. And as a father, and having this as my firstborn, my choice was that I buy him a suit. So I bought him a suit in Isli, 1,700. Okay? So I brought the suit and I was smiling. Daddy, you know, you've done so well. Thank you, congratulations, this is your suit. You know what was the feedback? Thank you, Daddy, but this suit I wear when I go to church. What I need to feel that I've been appreciated is a t-shirt. You know, a t-shirt with a picture of Spider-Man.
Yes.
You know, that was my son.
Yeah.
So because I needed really to, you know, to show him that he has done well and he need to keep the status quo, and I'm happy as a daddy. So I went back to the market and I was looking for the t-shirt. Do you know how much was that t-shirt? 100 bob. I would have bought 16 t-shirts. So who was a fool?
Yeah.
It was me as a father. Why? Because I denied my child the right to participation. I would have asked, you've done well. What do you want me to buy for you? So it was the other way. So that taught me a lesson. And even today as we speak, depending on the age, you cannot assume a child is too young, PP1, PP2, or maybe primary, or even high school. There's something that is trading, that a caregiver has taken his son or her daughter to a high school that is not her or his choice. So what has happened? The child wrote a suicidal note and kept it on the drawer. And then he took poison. Only for the caregiver to know that the child had requested severally, do not take me to that school. So if the mother heed to, you know, the call of the child, this could not have happened. So as we speak, the child is in hospital. She's just lucky that the child was, you know, was saved. So we need to allow our children to participate and make choices on the issues affecting them. The last one is protection. Children need to be protected under the Constitution. You know, we need to take care of our children. It is very sad that the system we have in Kenya sometimes, you know, go beyond, or rather, it has no interest of the child at heart. You see what has happened recently? People throwing tear gas, even in church, where children are seated. What does that mean? These children are there to get some spiritual nourishment. That is also their rights. And then you throw a tear gas there? Very sad, very unfortunate. And that should be condemned.
For sure.
Yeah, it should be condemned.
For sure.
Yeah. So every child should be given a right to participate, get life, be protected, you know. Why do we have children in the slum areas? Did they choose to be there? No. So sometimes we lose on our priorities. It is not expensive to build a slum area. I really like, and let me give credit where it deserves, the housing. You're contributing money, you know, while seated here, I'm also contributing from my pay. But we can see some, politics aside, we can see some buildings that are coming up, like in every places of Kenya, like it's like they're being planted. Why can't we do the same in the slum areas? How long does that take? A year or so, and we do it with the slum areas, because those children never chose to be born there, and they have a right to protection. Why should someone be under a muddy house with curtains at the top? I don't know whether you have gone to these houses. Personally, I've witnessed, and it's all over. Nairobi, Kajiado, wherever you go, it is happening.
Yeah.
That children are living in a very, deplorable conditions. That we have resources to change this as a country.
All right.
Apart from the Constitution, we also have the Children's Act. Again, the Children's Act stipulates the rights to the children. It has the systems on how to report the cases. It establishes the family-centered kind of care, institutional resource allocations, rehabilitation instead of punishment. That is the act itself.
Okay.
So we have the Kenyan Constitution, the Children's Act, we have the FGM Act, we have Birth and Death Certificate Act. Imagine today, in a Kenya that we are in, a child without a birth certificate. And they are there.
They are not registered.
What does that mean? It means they are not within our budgets. It means they are not there. Why should we be charged, a lot of money to have a legal document? I wish the government, if I were the president today or a governor, I would give all my children as a priority a birth certificate, because they would count within my constituents. They will count within my country, because we may be under budgeting for the country. We may not even know the number of children that we have in Kenya. But if every child, gets a birth certificate, it means we get to know exactly how many children we have. On the deaths, parents are passing away each and every day. How do we get to know who are orphans? We can only know who are orphans once we register for deaths. Then we have the Sexual Offences Act, we have Basic Education Act, and we have Counter-Trafficking of Persons Act.
Okay.
Kenya happens to be a transit for trafficking. Children are being trafficked. Who is taking this responsibility? Something needs to be done. So to make use of the legal instruments, then we need a multi-sectoral approach where the government agencies, the families, the churches need to come in handy and support.
Everyone needs to come on board.
Sure.
All hands on deck.
Sure.
Time is not on our side. We need to finalize on this. I know it went by so fast. There's still a lot to talk about.
Sure.
I guess we'll just create another time so that we can go on with this conversation, because there's still much to be talked about. We didn't even touch on digital safeguarding, and that's a big thing now, because online is the thing right now. You know, almost all our children, not all, almost some of our children have these gadgets. How do they safeguard themselves on there? How do we ensure that they are safe on there? How do we ensure that we are protecting them from being groomed, from these predators who are out there to do that? So there's still much to be talked about. We shall create more time for that. But as we finalize, I know there's a summit that will be happening. If you can just mention where it's happening, when, at what time, and then we finish.
Thank you so much, Vivian, for that question. There is a summit that is discussing child protection and safeguarding. The summit is happening here in Nairobi, and on Wednesday and Thursday. It's a multi-sectoral summit where we're having children officers, other government line ministries, the churches participating. We want to look at the gains and the challenges that we're facing as a country.
Where is it happening?
It's happening within Nairobi. Yeah, so the request is that within that summit, we need to find out how do we support budget allocation to children matters. Because unless we have a budget, we may not be able to have a lot of gains. Thank you.
All right. It's happening on the 4th and the 5th of this month. So on Wednesday and Thursday this week.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for your insights on this conversation on child protection and safeguarding. And this is where we get to end Good Morning Kenya for today. Thank you for staying with us. We do this each and every morning. So see you tomorrow, same time and place, God willing. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well, we'll spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
Road accidents have claimed so many lives in Kenya to rob many of their livelihoods and change their course of life. As families are robbed of their loved ones, their caregivers, others get life-threatening injuries which impact on their physical and mental well-being. As the affected sink into depression, others are able to weather the storm and rise again. And that is the story of Agnes Luchivia, one of the survivors of the 1999 tragic road accident that claimed the lives of 5 Barclays Glace basketball players and their coach on their way back to Nairobi from a Kenya Basketball Premier League match against KPA of Mombasa.
For me, it was tough. It was really tough, and especially psychologically. As a young girl who's just started life outside school, getting incapacitated, being on crutches, first being on a wheelchair, and then for some months, and then after that being on crutches for almost 2 years. And then remember at this point in time, I was a mono at that time in campus, because by the time we got the accident, actually it was a month after I had joined campus. So it kind of took away a bit of my campus life, because your movement is limited. You can't be in too many places, so you can't enjoy the full benefits of being in campus.
She was just a fresh in campus with the whole world ahead of her and could have been crushed by the traumatic experience, but she had to pick up the pieces after some years.
I took it with stride. I used that opportunity, like I said, to teach myself other things. That's how I learned how to coach a little bit, did a little bit of coaching here and there, but at the same time worked on myself psychologically, because the psychological bit was bigger than the physical healing. And for that, for about 2 years, I was seeing as a therapist and a counselor, just to help me get through the trauma, because again, losing 5 teammates and your coach at the same time, and having been there, seeing them passing on, for some of them, holding on to some of them as they were passing on in your hands, was not an easy thing. Was not an easy thing for me.
Healing takes time and courage, and eventually she managed to navigate through and found a peace of mind through the very sport that had landed her in crutches.
So for me, the psychological bit took quite some time. But getting back to playing was actually also a therapy on its own. I really fought myself mentally to get back into the game, because I knew the only way I was going to heal was by coming back to basketball, coming back onto the court.
Her resilience and resurgence saw her guide her team to the finals of the Kenya Basketball Women's Premier League and the Zone 5 title to cap it all.
I got very many MVP awards during that period. Unfortunately, Eaglets did not get to win the league during any of those times, but I got to be MVP in very many tournaments in the league, most promising player, upcoming player, MVP of the regular season, but I never really got to get the trophy as Eaglets. I think for me the one that really comes back to mind is winning the Zone 5 championship with Eaglets in 2005. Just a few years after I had gotten back, and Eaglets was getting off its feet. We had just moved from being Eaglets, from being Barclays Eaglets to being Sprite Eaglets, and then going for the Zone 5 and for me also winning the MVP. That was a really personal one because at that time the team had not won the league. We had gotten our rights to going to the Zone 5 by winning the tournaments across the country, because those days the winner of the tournaments, there used to be 6 tournaments, and the winner of those 6 tournaments across the country would also get an opportunity to go to Zone 5. And that's how we went to Zone 5 and then won it. And that was special. It was really special. And then coming back into the league and making it to the finals, going with KPA all the way to Game 5 was an amazing experience. So for me, that was very close to me.
She also managed to captain the Kenyan team to the All-Africa Games in 2007, where her team reached the quarterfinals.
I'm also a former national team player for 13 years and the longest serving captain for 7 years. When I got back into playing in about, I think it was 2001, 2002, I managed to get a call-up back into the national team. But my first call-up in the national team was actually in 1999, just about a year and a half after I had left school. So in 2002, after I got back to playing, I got called again to the national team. And then by 2003, I had been made captain of the national team. Being also captain of the All-Africa Games, overall captain of the All-Africa Games in 2007, was an honor for me, and really great honor, because not just about being the captain of the basketball team, but being captain of the whole contingent meant quite a lot for me, because that meant that my leadership skills were already being seen by somebody else, by other people, and being able to manage all the other sports, listen to them, get to know what their problems are, and being able to cascade that to the management. Being the link between the management and the athletes was also a great moment for me.
Her love affair with basketball started way back in high school after stints in various sports.
Basketball was introduced to me by a friend of my brother while I was at Alliance Girls High School, Form 2, and I took up the sport. And as they say sometimes, history then is forgotten, because then that's how I got into the sport. But previously I used to play tennis, I've been a swimmer, and also I loved athletics a lot.
She was also gifted academically and found the right balance to excel in both.
I would say it's a combination of the two, yes. For me, basketball while I was at Alliance gave me the opportunity to distress. That I used basketball as my moment to distress and to help me to be able to relax and then get back into my books. I was very good at English literature, especially because English, from the time I was in primary school, has always been my best subject, but also geography, mathematics, history, as well as business studies. I did a Bachelor of Arts with economics major and Arabic language.
The Stoke, as she was nicknamed, played for University of Nairobi Dynamites, KCITI, before she joined the Barclays Eagles, a team would later be known as the Storms after the road accident.
Immediately I finished high school. I was scouted while I was in school and joined KCITI. But I wasn't a student at KCITI. I just joined to play the game. And there I met a number of players who were also playing club, apart from playing in the universities and colleges basketball league. They were also playing club. And so I tagged along with them and ended up at Barclays Eaglets. And there started my journey in 1998. Joining Eaglets, actually, at the beginning, I didn't expect that I would immediately get into the team, into the main team. But after I joined, and within the month, I was already in the main team. And within about 2 months, I was in the starting five. So for me, first was my motivation was really to improve myself each and every day. And I kept on training extra because I would go to college in the morning. Then from college, I go to KCITI for training. Then from KCITI training, I go to Eaglets for training. So I was doing double training every day, every single day. And over the weekends, I was also training. And then after that, I joined the University of Nairobi Dynamites before I got into university, actually, towards the end of 1998, when they had already announced the collapse for university, and I knew I was joining Nairobi University. Then I started playing for UON Dynamites and moved from KCITI. But those days, Dynamites was only playing in the universities and colleges league. And then Eaglets was playing in the league, so I could juggle the two without having any conflict and without having any, with enough time to do both.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment